The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey!
Why?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You ping!
Stutter! Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Here we go, the Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk sitting at Pat's desk. He and Codman are down in Morgantown, West Virginia. There's some rumblings down there. Football! It is what's happening, Pat. Codman, you guys just walked out. We see the crowd going crazy. How's it going? What's the atmosphere like down there, man?
It is absolutely electrifying in Morgantown, West Virginia. This is for a press conference to announce that Rich Rodriguez is officially the head coach again for the West Virginia Mountaineers. Now, we drove in this morning, obviously, and outside the WVU Coliseum, which is absolutely beautiful. If you haven't been, you need to get here. But there was people lined up since like 8:30 a.m. It was cold as hell. People couldn't wait to get in here, maybe buy some beers, maybe celebrate what the future is going to be, and showcase to the world that West Virginia football, not only all the way back, but it is the present. These sports fans have been in hibernation for a bit. We're about to go get some championships, and that's what today is all about. Now, the Mountaineers here, got a good-looking gun there. That thing fires off every time we score. There's going to be a lot of gunshots ringing in a lot of Big 12 cities because what's about to happen to all the schools of that fantastic conference, shout out to that guy just walking through the shot, doesn't care about a single thing. Iowa State, Arizona State. Arizona State was projected to have 3.5 wins this year. Last in the entire Big 12. They go on to win that thing because they get a couple dogs in the transfer portal. Well, I think the people we're about to bring into this team and the roster that we're about to keep here is about to win a Big 12 championship. And then with the way Rich Rodriguez coaches his team, actually we have footage of his first team meeting from yesterday. Let's go ahead and run that thing just so you can get a nice little expectation of the type of team that is about to be calling Morgantown home.
First off, it's an honor to be here, to be back here. This is my home. It was a tough decision to leave the team I left because they accomplished so much, but it was an easy decision to come to the place that I love so much. And it won't be easy. I promise you, you'll probably work harder than you've ever worked in your life. Sometimes you hear coaches brag about, I got 25 years of experience, but if they never learned or they never grew, they got 1 year experience repeated 20-some times. And I'm a better coach now than I was a year ago. I'm a better coach now than I was 20 years ago. I'll be a better coach next week than I am today. People have asked me, what's hard edge mean? That means you're going to be mentally and physically tougher than anybody and everybody that you go up against. You'll be mentally and physically tougher than anybody you play, or you won't be playing. And some of you are kind of lounged down in your seat. If you're going to be a lounge down in your seat guy, you're not going to make it. If you're going to sit up in your seat and you're eager to get after somebody's ass, you're going to be just fine. If you're going to play fast, you better be in shape, right? We'll be in shape. Most of the time, we're going to get after their ass. They didn't hire me because Rich Rodriguez played at West Virginia, or because Rich Rodriguez went to bowl games 20 years ago, or whatever happened back then. I didn't get hired because of that. I got hired because they thought my staff and I could help take us to another level. You want to win? You'll be fine. So I appreciate you guys. It's an honor for me again to be back home, to be in the place that I love, and the place where I'm going to finish my career, and a place where I can, finish it right. And finish it right with you all lead the way. Okay, appreciate it. See you guys.
And obviously, we'll be hearing from Coach Rod on this particular program from the back here in a few minutes, and he's going to get introduced by Ren Baker when this press conference kicks off at 1:30 Eastern, and we will carry that here live on ESPN, and then carry it plus ESPN plus Disney plus. But there's a couple quotes in there, Boston Connor, that I think need to be paid attention to.
They do, Pat. What do you think, Ty, man? Hey, I guess we have some technical difficulties there. I don't know exactly what's happening, Zeke. This is fun. We get to watch the boys scramble. Sorry, boys, that they have to handle this. They have to figure this thing out, but they will. Diggs, you watch that. You see that whole atmosphere, the kids going crazy, whatever. Can Rich Rod actually, the promises that are made for him, you think he can live up to it?
Yeah, I absolutely do, because, I mean, he has been a proven winner no matter where he's been, whether it's been West Virginia, and then he went to Michigan, and I don't know if it was his fault there or not at Michigan. It didn't work out, but he wanted Arizona. He wanted Jacksonville State. Everywhere he's been, he has won. And then you get back to Morgantown, and there's already been talk about, certain Major League Baseball owners who are back in the fold for the fund.
Who's that?
And what's it? Ken
Kendricks.
Ken Kendricks of the Arizona.
So he is a big WVU guy. And he is a big supporter of Rich Rodriguez, and we know he's back on board. Okay, I think Pat might be back. Pat, what's going on, man?
Yeah, we're back. I don't know what the hell just happened.
Who's throttling you?
Technology. Sounds like the Zoom disconnected, but we're all the way back. AJ, they could hear you. Tone, they could hear you there, even though you couldn't hear us. Ken Kendricks, obviously a big part of this. Arizona Diamondbacks owner. He is a West Virginia boy from Princeton. Obviously went on to do well. He and Rich Rod, I believe the term is thick as thieves. So whenever you got a billionaire ready to get back on board with the program, he said it would have been anybody, and whenever you got some other people that are ready to get back on board, like my entire team, and then all the friends and family of Rich Rodriguez, who I don't think were able to come out and say that they were friends and family of Rich Rod. I don't think our team back in the day was ever allowed to celebrate because we lost one game that would have sent us to the national championship. But that one game to go to the national championship was earned. And the reason why we were in that game is because every single day we went to work, we won a lot of massive games. Obviously, we won 4 straight bowl games, 2 BCS games. We have massive resume that we can hold up against any other team in the history of the country. But
Hell yeah.
we lose that one game, he ends up leaving. The way it all goes, we can't even talk about it. You go over to the facility, I mean, Pat White's a photo, but it's in the way back. Now, it's like the glory days of West Virginia feel like we're going to be all the way back. The buzz of West Virginia is going to be back, and the team that is going to be on the field is going to be one that makes us all want to talk shit about, because they are going to be dogs. And Con Man, whenever you see all those people that you get to meet back there, what is your first thought? What is your first impression? And look at the people that filled up here just for a press conference.
It's a football town. I think that's the biggest takeaway, is like, this is a place that wants to be good at football. And not every place is like that. And, we talk about NFL teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers. You want people to come back after they, finish playing there. And this is a place that's like that. And, the reason this press conference is packed and because this is so much fun is because in a year from now, when, West Virginia's preparing for the college football playoff, they'll remember, buying beers and coming to a press conference and knowing that that's where this thing is headed with Rich Rodriguez.
Yeah, it's a special time in college football because of the 12-team playoff. If you win the Big 12, you're in. If you put up a good record in the Big 12, you're probably going to be in the college football playoff. And if Rich Rodriguez gets in the dance and his gritty-ass team and his tough team plays against anybody in the country, they're going to have to feel it. AJ, I know that you grew up in Ohio. AJ, I know you're an Ohio State guy. I see the O on your chest there. But you grew up in the era when this West Virginia team was buzzing. College football is better when this flying WV is at the top of conversations, and I think we're getting right back into that time, AJ.
Absolutely. I mean, I've told you many times, I remember like the glory days of West Virginia, just watching from the outside as a fan, and how like the athletes and Rich Rod, he's a personality. He's a character. I think he would understand that. He gets that. Like, he is a dude. He's a polarizing figure that I think the people that ride with him forever. And I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, you talked about polarizing. There has been some obvious reaction in the state that haven't forgot about what happened after the 13-9 game and the way that whole thing ended. And I know Rich Rod will never come out and say all the behind-the-scenes stuff that was happening. Obviously, there was a lot of drama. There was a lot of miscommunication. There was a lot of misunderstanding. There was a lot of, are you going to support us to get to the spot where we want to go, and inevitably not happening. All Rich has to do, and he knows this, and I think we all know this, he puts a team out on the field that this state would be proud of. They're all the way back and board. And I think the thing about Coach Rod is, and this is just strictly over getting a chance to chat with him over the last couple of weeks, it's unfinished business. He wants to make it right, and he loves this state. He loves this team. And for me and for all the guys that are on that team that have carried a heavy burden through these past 2 decades because of what happened, he knows that if he goes and wins for this state, hopefully that'll all be kind of forgiven. And I think that's his motivation. I think that's his goal. And for me, I told him the day he was doing his interview with Brent Baker, I said, listen, I need you to hear this before you talk to Red. I think about that game every single day of my life. It is a thing that I don't think I'll ever be able to get away from. I often wonder why it went the way it did. Why couldn't I make a kick in the first quarter? Why? I said, the ability for me to come back and help and for you to lead the way would be nice for my conscience. It'd be nice for the weight that I carry around every day. So I am fully committed to making West Virginia win again. Rich Rod's fully committed. Ken Kendricks is fully committed. And I know Bill Belichick down to UNC is certainly a sensational storyline, and we're friends with Coach Belichick.
Great guy.
And we're friends with Lombardi, who's the general manager down there. The best storyline in college football out of this hiring cycle is Rich Rodriguez coming home and making it right, and I stand by that, and that is why we're here. Conman, the energy is palpable. They've had some beer since 10:30 a.m. in here, and the Country Roads Trust is raising money. People are donating money. NIL's up. Revenue's going to be up. It feels like this is a turning point for this particular institution.
Well, and that's the thing with college football right now is when you have the support of everybody, that's what means the most. You talk about NIL. West Virginia has the people, you listen to a few of them, that want the football team to be good, the athletics to be good as a whole. And Ren Baker, sure, he nailed it with Rich Rod, but if you just look at his track record here, he's nailed it with the basketball coach.
What?
Nailed it with the baseball coach.
What?
Nailed it with the soccer coach.
What?
Nailed it with the women's soccer coach.
What?
Volleyball coach is going to get some wins here too.
What?
You got to just trust the entire thing that Ren is doing. And to your point, there's something about a guy who has unfinished business, who has that chip on his shoulder, that wants to go and win for the state that he's from, for the college that he played for, and a college that he used to coach for. It really is kind of the perfect recipe for success here at West Virginia right now.
And you heard in that team meeting, he said, I'm a better coach now than I was last week. I'm a better coach now than I was 20 years ago. I think he has changed his coaching style. He's still in there, though.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever he saw those dudes lounging, if you're a lounging guy, just lounging, okay, this might not be the place for you, okay? If you want to sit up and get eager to get after somebody's ass, this is the spot for you. If you want to win, this is the spot for you. So I would like to make a public declaration to all the dudes entering the transfer portal or all the high school recruits, and I didn't tell Rich I was going to do this or anybody, and nobody really tells me what I can or can't do, which is a pretty cool thing.
It's awesome, yeah.
That's a cool thing.
It's sweet. That's why we're here.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool thing to be able to do that. If you're a dog, okay, if you work your ass off, if you love ball, if you're going to be able to stay eligible, okay, need to do the classes. A Rich Rodriguez team is the team for you. He's going to ask more out of you. The weight room's going to be tough. The meetings are going to be tough. The practices are going to be tough. But the lessons that he's going to drop into your life are going to carry you forever. And I was watching that meeting yesterday, and it's the attention to detail that has helped me when I became a pro in the NFL, helped me whenever I started running my own business. I thought about the things that Rich Rodriguez told me whenever I was 18, 19, 20 years old. And maybe the lessons didn't hit at the time, but they went for the rest of my life. I'd be honored if my kid chose to play for Coach Rod. And I think if you're a dog and want to become the best version of you, I think you come right here to West Virginia. We got money.
Oh, yeah.
We got money. We got a path to the college football playoff. And we got an absolute dog as a head coach who wants to make it right. Now, AJ, with all that being said, there was a massive game last night in the NFC West. San Francisco 49ers, Los Angeles Rams. The most boring game maybe ever televised. 9-6, 15 total points. I'll have you know, the West Virginia Mountaineers are not going to look like that with Rich Rodriguez as the head coach.
Hell yeah.
Get ready for explosive plays. Get ready for high-flying action. And for me, as somebody that picked the Rams plus 3.5, look for the West Virginia Mountaineers to be a gambler's best friend as well. I think when I was here at West Virginia, and obviously whenever I say I mean the teams that I was a part of. Obviously, we had the great Pat White at quarterback, who hopefully will be around town a lot more with Rich Rod coming back. We had Steve Slayton at running back, which I hope we'll see a lot more around Morgantown with Rich being back. We had Owen Schmidt, the runaway beer truck, at fullback. We had Reed Williams at linebacker. We had Dan Moses offensive line. We had Jello, Darius Reynaud. We had stars everywhere, but also in tone, you can correct me if I'm wrong because you were certainly an Italian for your entire life, especially during those eras. I think we covered more than any school in the country as well. They always counted us out. They always gave us favorable lines, and West Virginia covered. So now that gambling is, a national thing, I think this West Virginia team is going to be beloved by everybody. So I am very, very eager for this to get started. Let's talk about the game last night a little bit because the NFC West is certainly something. The Rams are hot. The Niners come off an absolute ass beating of the Chicago Bears. And what they were able to do, obviously, against the Bears, they were not able to do against the Rams. Rams defense gave up, 40-plus points to Josh Allen just a week before. They shut it down on Thursday night. That NFC West now all of a sudden becomes a massive question mark. Who's going to win it? Who's hot? Well, Geno Smith in the Seattle Seahawks. Another West Virginia legend is leading them. 58% playoff probability at this moment. And remember, Rams and Seahawks are on a collision course to the last week of the season. Feels like this is a chance for the Seahawks to go ahead and get a playoff spot at least, win the division. Back there in studio, the fact that the Seahawks are the team that we're talking about winning this particular division instead of the Niners, instead of the Rams, and even the Cardinals had an opportunity, is vastly different than the convo before the season, and that's because Geno Smith is an absolute dog. The reason why we know he's a dog is because he survived Morgantown, okay? You survived Morgantown, that's better than a degree. And what Geno's been able to do and what that NFC West has done all season has been electrifying, except for last night's game, AJ.
Yeah, I know the Seattle Seahawks fans sometimes, get upset with the program if we don't give enough love to this team. So, it's the whole West Coast thing. That's got to be part of it, I would imagine. But the Seahawks, they're legit. And as you said, Geno, I think Geno gives a team like that confidence that sometimes a Jameis Winston can do. And I'm not saying that they play the same or anything. I'm saying he feels like everything is under control. He's seen every single thing possible. Ty, when you watch Geno play, I guess, did you expect him to be doing this at this age?
I don't know if anyone expected him to be doing it at this age, but he's just consistent, I think. That's the biggest thing. Sometimes he's gonna give a couple away, but you just show that highlight of Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's a guy they drafted in the first round expecting a lot out of him. And with Geno, they've realized hey, this is a dude. So we have DK Metcalf, we have him. They have these great weapons, and I think with the Seahawks, it was always they have this new regime coming in. So at what point is that culture kind of going to set in? Because we talked about at the very start of the year, hey, they painted over the Legion of Boom and all the great things they accomplished with Pete Carroll. But I think everyone, when talking about McDonald and his staff, it was hey, this guy's a good coach, and Ryan Grubb is great too. Granted, he was coming from Washington, had a little stop at Alabama, but once they actually kind of get a little time to get their culture in place, you have a guy like Geno he's just consistent, he's rock solid, and you never hear him bitching or complaining about anything. These last several years, really since he's been a Seahawk, he's been one of the guys in this division and in the NFL as a whole that you can kind of hang your hat on and know hey, Geno's going to go out in there and perform if he has to.
And the thing about Geno, I think, is much like this West Virginia team, coming out of college, he signs with, we don't have to say that.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
No,
Don't have
good.
to talk about that. It was a big deal at the time.
Huge.
It was a big deal at the time. Now, obviously, things you're coming to like potentially.
Exactly. Things always come full circle, just like Rich Rod coming back to West
Well, that's
Virginia.
what I'm saying. So Geno, obviously, coming out of college, out of West Virginia, obviously a massive story. And he ends up in New York, doesn't go as well. Obviously, we heard the stories. Has to bounce around the league. Okay, has to have a couple trying times. Has to hit a little bit of adversity. Has to look himself in the mirror and see what type of person he is. And then all of a sudden, he finds his opportunity in Seattle and becomes an absolute rock star. And that's what Rich Rodriguez is about to do, coming back here to West Virginia.
Bingo.
I think coming out of West Virginia, obviously, talk of the walk, here we go. Then he has to bounce around a little bit, has to look himself in the mirror, face some adversity, and then he comes back here the best version of himself. Speaking of West Virginia people creating the best version of themselves, who's the best team in the NBA right now?
Oh, that'd be Joe Mazzulla's Boston Celtics.
Oh!
West Virginia, great. No big deal. No big deal. Love that guy.
I didn't know that a West Virginia guy is leading the best team in the NFC West and also the best team in the NBA, and Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah, it's no big deal. And when I look around this Coliseum, I actually think there's some room for him to maybe go up in one of these rafters. I could see Joe Mazzulla being up there very soon.
Well, you look up in these rafters and you see legends like Deshaun Butler, obviously. And you see Mike Gansey, and you see Kevin Pittsnoggle.
Hell yeah.
And obviously Johnny West and Hugs and the entire squad. West Virginia has a lot of history, a lot of dogs, and today is all about celebrating that. When we look at last night's game, you stayed awake for that thing?
Yeah, I did. I was watching other TV shows with it on, but when it's that poopy of a football game, you just kind of have to find ways to stay awake. I mean, as someone who bet the over, I was pissed off watching it the entire time, so it was kind of one of those hate watch situations. It's almost sad because the 49ers, every year we go into it saying, hey, this could be their year, this could be their year, and for their season to be over already does stink. Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua, weapons. You gotta love them, and at the end of the day, when you think about these teams, Geno Smith Seahawks are kind of the ones that are going to, edge out all these other people anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, and I think Geno has a shot. I think Matt Stafford, getting as hot as he is and them getting as healthy as they are, is obviously good. And the Niners stinking was not on the bingo.
No, it wasn't. Or having players quit.
Middle of the game.
Didn't see that coming at all.
AJ, how do you feel about Campbell just saying, nah, I'm not playing? You bring Kinlaw back, give him all my snaps, then he can't finish the game even though he had 9 tackles or whatever. Now you want to put me in? I don't think so. He tapped out of that game and actually just walked off the sideline. And every person that's ever played football, whether it's in the NFL or just in general, said, can't do this. This is treasonous behavior. You even heard the Niners say that. Once again, can't stress this enough. That is not a Rich Rodriguez guy.
No.
If you are ever planning on walking off of a field in the middle of the game just because your feelings are hurt, do not think about coming to West Virginia with Rich Rodriguez in this entire thing. But what do you think about what happened there last night, AJ? Would love to get your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't love it. I know his teammates have already come out and they have to answer for it, and they've, I guess said how disappointed they are and how I've never really seen that happen. Yeah, you can't do this. I mean, you can't do it. I understand wanting to do that or getting to that point to where you're that upset, you're that frustrated or pissed off to where you want to do something like this maybe, or it flashes through your brain, but you can't do it because you're pissed that you're not out there, and then all of a sudden they want to put you out there and you say, no, I'm not going to play. So it's like, okay, do you really want to play or not?
I mean, I guess be who you can afford to be. He was with the Packers, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ty, you guys liked him at the Packers? He's trying to get out of there to get back? What do you think he's trying to do here? What's the move?
No, so a lot of people actually brought this up last night. So when he first got to the Packers, I think they signed him off the Cardinals practice squad and kind of threw him a lifeline. And then he ended up having an all-pro year and was great. And then the following year, not so much. They decided not to re-sign him. And towards the end of his run with the Packers, he went to social media and started bashing the front office and all that kind of the scheme, like making a bunch of excuses for why he didn't play as well as he did the year before. And then they did. The Niners signed him for, I think it was a 1-year, $5 million deal, basically because they knew that Greenlaw, it was gonna take some time for him to get back. And I think that's kind of, some people were saying that as like, hey, that was kind of the thing all along. Is like when these guys got healthy, like they were going to be put back in the lineup. So it's weird, especially last night, given the situation and how close that game was, like them still very much being in it and needing a win, that he would just walk off like that. But a lot of people were saying, hey, writing was kind of on the wall, especially if you look at the way he kind of exited with the Packers as well.
Well, listen, if you're going to tap out, don't come to West Virginia. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, the founding father of Hard Edge, back as the West Virginia Mountaineer head coach of the football team. Ladies and gentlemen, he's in the back. Head coach Rich Rodriguez.
Hey, Rich.
Coach.
Hey, Pat.
Coach. Hey, I want to let you know, it's an absolute honor to be out here knowing that you're the man that is manning the football team once again, and I can't wait to make trips to Morgantown on a much more regular basis, so let's just lead off with that. How is it?
Yeah, well, you need to. Yeah, you need to bring your show, bring your crew, bring your teammates, bring AJ. In fact, AJ, I've heard you gave an endorsement for old Coach Rod here, and so I really appreciate it. I'm going to get you some gear, too, because I got some gear that looks better than what you got on. But anyway, I appreciate your endorsement.
I respect the shot. I respect it.
Yeah, but Pat, you're special, and I am so proud for what you're doing, what you've done, and I told him I want to be on every week now. You're going to have Belichick on there and Aaron Rodgers on there. You need to have Coach Rod from West Virginia on there every week now. So.
All right, sounds good. Hey, that sounds good to me. If you'll come on and you'll chit-chat with us every week, I would love that. Obviously, it's been very nice catching up with you. Not only over the years, obviously, text back and forth every once in a while, but the last few weeks as this became a potential reality, it's been nice talking and catching up and seeing your growth and seeing how you're handling everything. How has it been to be back in Morgantown? Was that a surreal moment yesterday when you get off that plane?
That is the perfect word, surreal, because it's been 17 years. I've been back in the state. Obviously, my family's here. My wife's family's from here, but I haven't been back to the facility for 17 years, and I kind of like what they've done with the place. You know, it's really phenomenal what they've done facility-wise. Certainly, the support is there. I know the Mountaineer Maniacs are still there, and we're still one of the top party schools in the country. That's a good thing, I guess. So, but I am so blessed to have this opportunity. Really am.
Okay, so we see you walk around the building yesterday. We see your team meeting, okay? And obviously the smiles and catching up. And I think there's one or two people that are still in the building from your era, if I'm not mistaken. So it's probably nice.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Yeah, right, nice to see some
I didn't know they were filming my meeting, though. I would have, my daughter Raquel told me afterwards, so you should always know the cameras are on. But I'm glad I didn't go off like I had done before at Pat McAfee or some of his teammates.
So if it means anything,
it was a good meeting.
It was a great meeting. Did you know you were going to do that? How much do you prepare for that? And when you looked around that room, I saw the one part that I saw, and I told you about this whenever I saw you in the back before I came out here. Whenever you told the guys, if you're going to lounge, I see a lot of guys lounging. And if you're a lounge guy, I don't know if this is the place for you because,
kind of looking disengaged, but I kind of treated it kind of nicely yesterday because it was the first team meeting. I didn't want to come off too strong, so I wasn't really hoping to see somebody lounging, but I was kind of hoping I would see somebody lounging. You know what I mean? So I didn't know their name, so I didn't have to embarrass them by name, and I'm glad I didn't because they weren't doing anything really that wrong, but it was just kind of a attention to detail that we're going to get started with from the jump.
Yeah, so you got to set the precedent early. Obviously, that's why it's called precedent. But I'll never forget one of my first meetings. I'm sitting like this, casual, just head back. I'm here, okay? I'm on time. And also, you're 15 minutes early, okay? You're 10 minutes early. You're late. You're on time. You're late. You're 15 minutes early every damn time, Pat McAfee. I'm like, you got it, coach, okay? That's the type of stuff that you preach and teach that I've carried into my life. I appreciate you for that. But one of those first meetings, I'm casual, sitting like this, What's this guy going to say? Can't wait to hear this. He's got a sweet accent. Can't wait to hear what he has to say. His intensity is going to be awesome. And literally before you even start anything, sit your ass up, McAfee. And I was like, whoop, all right. We are in this thing. And then it was immediate like, hey, how you do anything is how you do everything. That is how you
it was the same kind of meeting. Remember the meeting we had when Darrelle Revis returned that punt? We were watching it as a whole team. I do remember that meeting. And I think you probably were a brunt of some of the discussion during that punt return. You and about 5 of your teammates. I do remember that one.
Yeah, but Coach, you talked and you said you went a little easier there. But it seems like you're still the same coach. We're going to be accountable. We're going to be disciplined. We're going to be passionate. We're going to fly around. But you said you're a different coach now than you were 17 years ago. What does that mean for you? And did coaching your son, Rhett, change you? Is that something that potentially changed you?
It did. I think every year, it's like I've always said this. Some coaches brag about, well, they got 25 years of experience and whatever. But if they never grew or learned or got better, they got 1 year experience repeated 25 times, right? And what I've tried to do is be a better coach every year, whether it's schemes or methods or how you run your program. And that's what I feel the most proud about, that the coaches, myself and the coaches that have been around me on our staffs have gotten better every year. I'm a better coach now than I was when I left. But I needed to be. And if I want my players to be better every year, I got to be better every year. And that doesn't mean we don't make mistakes. But at the same time, we got a great passion. I still have a great passion for football. I got a great passion to coach. And I still think good players want to be coached. There's kind of a tendency today of players not getting coached and coaches not coaching players. And the good players want to get coached. They want to get better. And that's our job, to make them better. And that's not always easy. Sometimes you got to be the bad guy as a coach, but at the end of the day, when you make them better, all right, they'll appreciate you more as a coach, in my opinion.
Coach, I'll say this. I've been lucky to be a part of College Game Day, and I've gotten a chance to see like every single building. The teams that win all coach. The teams that kind of are in the middle kind of let shit happen. Let the lounging happen. Let I need more money in the middle of a season, I'm going to sit out. I think that is why you are the perfect guy for this job in 2024, especially at this school. And last question for me before AJ and the boys have some for you. When you looked around that room, and I know you said you were looking for somebody to lounge so you could point out the fact that, hey, in my meetings, that it's not how you're going to be engaged. We're going to want to get after somebody's ass. How many people do you legitimately expect to remain? Because I've heard a lot of conversation about around the college football world that's like, Rich's got to get in there, and he's got to start recruiting these guys that are on the roster to make sure they stick around. And I know not everybody's going to like this, we got to do a clean sweep. I'm okay with it. If we got to get Rich Rod's guys in there, I'm okay with it, because I was on a group text last night, and I told you this about with a lot of my old teammates, and they were like, those dudes have no idea. Those dudes have no clue what's about to be asked of them. When you look in that room and you talk to some of these guys, do you feel like there is some carryover that will be able to fit into a Coach Rod culture? And how do you feel about the roster?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because I watched a little bit of practice this morning, but I haven't watched film. I haven't really watched their games. I haven't really kind of studied their talent, so to speak. But from that standpoint, if they're a talented guy and they work hard and they buy into the program, I want them around. If they're soft or lazy, if they don't want to give their best effort, then I don't want them around. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? It's like the two worst 4-letter words are soft and lazy. And that, to me, has nothing to do with talent or what year they are. And that's coming from a state that I know very well. The people in the state of West Virginia work hard. They don't want to be soft. They don't want to be lazy. They don't want the people playing and representing them being soft or lazy.
I talked to you the other day about this, and you said, the way my teams have always been described is tough. And I take that as a badge of honor, because I'm from West Virginia. Your tie's all, you're getting jacked up over there. Get jacked up over there in the suit. The tie's getting all disheveled. Yeah, I get it, You want to go get after somebody's ass right now. You want to get these people even better. But you said every position, I want to be tough. Every single position, I want them to be tough. And we could feel that when we were in your locker room, and I think these guys will feel it as well. AJ has a question for you from the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, Coach, I love that. The soft and lazy, I agree with you completely on that sentiment. But when you're going out and trying to recruit players that are not soft, not lazy, I guess, how do you know when they're a Rich Rod or a WVU guy, and how are you going to locate them? And then ultimately, what are you going to do with them once you bring them to campus?
Yeah, I think the difference now with so much turnover in college football, and we got to face it, you've got to build a program, but you're also building a team every year. And you might have a bunch of new guys every year, but if you bring in the right guys, your culture would be consistent, from that standpoint. You can't sacrifice. Every coach talks about they have culture, but they sacrifice their culture for one player or two players, and you can't do that. The culture is the culture, and then everybody comes in and has to adapt to what you're doing, how you do things. And it's hard to do that because, you don't really know the guys sometimes in the transfer portal, or sometimes you don't really know the guys in high school. So as coaches, we better really vet and think, is this our type of guy? You could tell by the skill and the speed and all that. But is he our type of guy? Can he make it through a practice? Will he buy into what we're trying to do? Does he want to be coached? And if they do all that, they're fine. But sometimes you evaluate wrong. I think one of the strengths that I've been blessed with, my staff has been blessed with, we can evaluate those guys that fit that part. They have the talent, but they fit that hard edge. And we talk about that hard. Sometimes guys don't have it because they've never been taught to have it. Some guys have it naturally, but they all got to have it to be in this program.
You got a good radar of hard edge, huh? Walk into a room, soft, tough, soft. I like that. That's a good thing to have in a football coach. I'll let you know that.
Well, I like when my kicker will knock the hell out of somebody when he's trying to make a return. You know what I mean, Pat? I don't think you were that jacked up when you were playing for me, but that's okay. But you were good.
Coach Rod, I was strength and conditioning All-American here at West Virginia, actually. Hang cleaning 365 like 10 times with Barwis Beach, which leads me to that. When you said to the boys in the meeting, if you want to play fast, you're going to have to be in shape. And then you just matter-of-factly said, we're going to be in shape. And that was the line that we all said, these dudes don't fully understand. When does that start for you? Like when? I don't think I understand the whole process here. Because they have a bowl game, and then there's what, probably a break, and then after that?
Yeah, a couple weeks, and then they'll start in a winter conditioning program in January. I did ask, too, that the law school hill was still available because we're going to use that hill. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I guess they were still on it, so that's a good thing. I don't have to introduce it to them again, so they know where the hill is at.
You'll be able to find some hills around here. Every time you land in here, it's so beautiful. Like, I think I forget every time we fly in. It had been a long time since I came back the last time for the spring game and everything like that. You fly in here, the foliage, the views, the people, the town. I mean, it is ready to host, recruit, and win again. And I think that is.
That's right.
It's very evident. I think it's very evident, Coach.
Yeah, you could, and I was going to mention it later, but you could win a national championship in West Virginia. You could win a national championship at West Virginia. You can win a national championship at West Virginia.
We're this close, which is why I'm happy that you're back. And I know you're going to talk about it at your press conference, but that was a big thing I told you. I said, hey, I need you to go back there and do this so I can get this off of my conscience. And you said, you too. You've been thinking about this for a long time as well, right? Making it.
Yeah, I want to make it right. Let's make it right.
How do you feel about that, though? Like, legitimately, what is because for me, it shows up when I'm laying my head down at night, okay? My head lays down at night, and I think about what I got to do tomorrow, and then all of a sudden I think to myself, man, if I had a fucking national championship ring, this would be so much cool. But we're that close, And then I go to sleep, and then the next day I forget about it, and then I'll have lunch, and somebody from LSU or somebody will talk and be like, hey, you remember? And I'm like, yeah, I do remember. So it's like with me every single day. For you, have you been trying to bury it for a long time, or has it been something that's been with you?
It's always out there, but here's how do you get there? You can't think like, okay, we're going to win a national championship, and then it magically appears. It's like, what do we got to do tomorrow to win? Every decision I make in this program, every decision that the coaching staff makes, every decision that the players make, does it help us win? If it doesn't help us win, it ain't the right decision. So that's kind of the mindset we're going to have from day one.
Hey, I can't wait to watch you make it right. Conman has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, friend of yours, guy who actually coached for you, Tony Gibson, got hired down at Marshall, and he brought up the idea of the Friends of Cole Bowl coming back. Is that something you're interested in? Do you see that happening? And if you were to maybe play, are we thinking like 63-0 West Virginia, or how does that? Is it a respectful game where you kind of let off the gas a little bit?
Yeah, well, Gibby is a great friend of mine, was a great staff member, and we're still very dear friends. But I don't even think you think I have spent 1 second thinking about Marshall. You're wrong. I could care less what's going on. It's blue and gold.
Yeah, you're damn right. You're damn right. This is the team of the state of West Virginia. Now there is a game. There is a game. Obviously, Marshall, Friends of Cole Bowl. Shout out to Governor Manchin at the time. Then he became Senator Manchin. Then he was Independent Manchin. Then is he President Manchin? No, can't be. Whatever the case, still around. He created that Friends of Cole Bowl initiative. The other rivalry, third week, September 13th, 9/13, okay? That's going to be in West Virginia, in Morgantown. And I know you got games before that, and how can we win right now? That's obviously the football gods putting something up on a tee potentially early in your first year, and how do you view the thought of that particular game?
Well, I probably misspoke a little bit earlier when I said the two worst four-letter words were soft and lazy. I left out Pitt.
Coach, Scott doesn't know I'm in the middle of a live show right now. Good to see you, buddy. Kind of doing something. I appreciate you. We'll take a photo in a matter of
Thank you, guys.
Great, but no, not you. I'm talking to this guy right here. That's literally standing right next to me, trying to get a photo. Good guy, man. This good guy right here looks good.
Good beard.
You do know that particular school literally wins nothing. They hang their hat on beating us in that one game. Legitimately, that's it. So let's make sure September 13th, that kind of all goes away.
That's right.
One last question here. One of my guys back in Indianapolis, Ty Schmidt, has a question for you, Coach Rod.
Yeah, Coach.
Sure.
Just curious. Everyone, when they talk about college football now, it's, hey, the transfer portal has changed everything, or NIL has changed everything. But in your opinion, how has the game itself changed from the first time you were at West Virginia to now? And do you think you can still emulate the team, upcoming this next year, similar to the teams you had, when Pat was there and you were so successful?
Yeah, that's a good question. Back then, this is 20 years ago or so, there wasn't a lot of teams that had spread formation, shotgun, and up-tempo a lot of the time. Now there's a whole lot of teams that do it. And so teams are defending that kind of style of offense differently now than they did 20 years ago. So you have to adapt. We're not exactly the same as we were 20 years ago, but our core is the same. I still believe in tempo. I still believe in conditioning. I still believe you got to be able to run the football first and be strong up front. And I still believe in playing with 11. Our quarterbacks are going to be part of the play, whether it's a run or a pass, all the time. So we still maintain that, but it's a lot more creative defenses that we're seeing nowadays, and we've learned how to adapt to that.
All right, Coach, we can't wait to watch you. This crowd can't wait to see you in about an hour or so. You're the man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Let's go! Let's go! Man, it's going to be leading that. Rich Rodriguez, we appreciate it.
Yeah, Coach.
I saw his brother backstage. Couldn't even tell they looked the exact like.
Is that our twins?
Twins. He lives in the state. His family lives in the state.
Mm-hmm.
Mom lives in the state. Wife's mom lives in the state. His friends live in the state.
Right.
The business people in this state love him.
Right.
I'm thankful Ren Baker made the decision. Now, whenever I say this, I mean this. I am a money guy here now, AJ.
Big money guy, yeah.
The big money guy is Mr. Kendrick. We are very thankful for that particular billionaire. And we would like to say to Mr. Ken, if the pockets are open, we're winning the whole damn thing. Ken knows that. But as a contributor to the program, I will say, Ren Baker, I think he kind of felt obligated to talk to me throughout this process. And I tried my absolute best to be like, hey, just empower Ren. Because Ren, I believe in. I have faith in Ren. I like the way he operates. I like the way he handles himself. I think he's young. I think he loves this state of West Virginia. He's got a real nice house. Did you see?
Oh my God, the view out the back. Holy shit.
He's got a real nice house here. So I think he's really loving being in West Virginia, but I tried my best to remain completely out. I didn't want to put more pressure on him. He certainly knew where I wanted this whole thing to end up, but I didn't want to put any more pressure on him. He left no stone unturned. He interviewed everybody, literally everybody. It was the broadest search, I think, maybe in the history of college football. Like the amount of, all roads, he said, led to Rich Rodriguez in this particular coaching cycle. And it's like, if you just took the resumes, and I talked to one of the money guys back in the back, sweet mullet.
Fantastic.
Sweet. We're talking to some money guys back there. Got a construction guy back there. He's got a lot of money.
He's awesome.
Builds a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
They're just coming to the press. They want to see the press conference?
Well, I think they were potentially a part of the whole process, but they're all very excited that Rich Rod is back. They said, just take the resumes, take the name off the top, and just put everything else down. And then just go ahead and see who's the best coach. Not only for this particular job, but for any job right now that's open. And then obviously that's Rich Rodriguez's resume. And then if you think about the state of West Virginia and the fit and the culture, it's a guy that's from here. Now, there are some people that are a little bit indifferent. So I thought there was a chance that Ren Baker, because he's young, because this is his place, he wants to kind of reinstate his own mindset, his own decisions. I thought he would go a different way, legitimately. And I would have been, all right, you got to do what you got to do. Wouldn't have been around as much, but certainly will support the entire thing. So the fact that Ren Baker put the pride aside of saying, this is my guy, he didn't listen to any of the outside noise, and he made his own decision because he thinks that this is the right decision to win. Like, I'm incredibly proud of Ren, and I hope it happens for him. That baby Ren Baker.
Oh, yeah, Ren.
Hey, Ren.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we go from Rich Rodriguez, who will be out here for a press conference, to some NFL conversation. No, okay, never mind. We will leave the NFL, and we will go to soccer. Good sport.
Fantastic. Good at it here.
West Virginia soccer team, very good at the sport, men's and women's, doing their thing. And kind of bummed out that this guy didn't go to West Virginia, but he decided to become pro. They call him Captain America. He has a documentary coming out on Paramount Plus, available now.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, Christian Pulisic.
Yeah.
Well,
Can you hear me okay?
yeah. We're just kind of watching you figure out how to center yourself on the screen there.
Sorry, I don't have much space there to work with. All right.
No, but
there we go.
Spatial awareness is something you're great at. Christian, let's talk about this. Obviously, you are being tasked with Captain America, carrying the United States of America soccer team into this next era, new coach and everything. Documentary is going to be covering you playing overseas, being an American. How did it feel exposing yourself to the cameras? And how do you think the world is going to react to what your life has been as an American soccer star playing in Europe?
It was something new for me, for sure. I wasn't used to that, that inside access. People, follow me around at times, a lot of cameras. But I enjoyed the experience. I think people are going to get a pretty cool look into kind of, some of the difficulties I go through on a day-to-day basis, a lot of the stuff, what it's like being American over in Europe, trying to play at the highest level. So I think it was a perfect time, and I hope people enjoy the look into that.
I can't wait. Obviously, the United States has been trying to break into the international soccer scene. I grew up playing soccer. I think there was always dreams and aspirations of America getting onto everybody else's level. Does it feel like we're closer than ever because of you, Reina? Who's that goalie? It looks like he's 12. He's a stone.
From Fairfield, Connecticut.
Yes.
I'm blanking on it. I should have looked at the.
This is an embarrassment.
I'm sorry. I went to school with them.
We're closer than we've ever been, or think we're. What do you think? How much can we talk shit about the United States soccer at this moment? Do you think?
I mean, I definitely say we're closer than we ever have been. I think, like you mentioned, there's so many top players now playing in Europe at the highest level, and we've just never had that before. So absolutely, I think fans can be excited, but now it's on us to go out and show and prove why why we can hang with the best and beat the best.
Go ahead, AJ.
Christian, when you were they were filming for this docuseries, obviously, was there ever a time when you forgot the cameras were there and you felt like you hear people back in the day for the real world, like, oh, after a day or two, you forget the cameras are there and you just go about your life. Did that ever happen for you?
Yeah, I think at times. My good friend Daniel has been working on this with me, so he kind of can be real low key, and it definitely feels like sometimes they're not even there. So that's a good thing, though. I think that's how I want it to be. I don't want any big crew following me around all the time, but there's definitely moments like that.
Christian, what do we need to become because it feels like the academies that they have in Europe, where as a kid you kind of go to an academy and you spend your life playing soccer pretty much. Kind of forego high school, forego college. You kind of learn how to be a professional soccer player. What do you think the United States needs to do to catch up, or is sending the Americans over there our best path?
Yeah, I think for me, it was definitely the best thing to do to go over to Europe at the time. That first year in Germany when I left home, and it was a big sacrifice for me. And I realized that these kids that I was competing with, they didn't want anything to do with me. They were thinking, you know what, this guy's coming to take my place. That's not going to happen. So there was a competitiveness at 15 years old in the academies that I had never experienced before. And I think that's what it's going to take to get us to the next level is that kind of competition every day and that fight. I never saw it in the US quite at that level. But with that being said, I think the academies have come a long way.
Connor has a question for you, Christian.
Yeah, goalie's Matt Turner. We all know that. Sorry. Shout out Fairfield. Go Stags. Christian, how has it been going from England to Italy? Obviously, you were with Chelsea for a little. Now, you're killing it with AC Milan before you got injured. How has that transition been?
I've loved every second of it over here. I think the Italian lifestyle and culture in general just fits me a lot better. Well, maybe most people with the weather and the food and those kind of things, but also the club and the way they've treated me and given me a lot of trust and confidence and allowed me to kind of return to my best form. I've just enjoyed the transition a lot, and yeah, I think it's going really well.
What do you know about Coach Pochettino? Because I know that we're going to win the World Cup whenever it's in the America.
Hell yeah.
Canada, United States, and in Mexico. We're going to go to every game. I think Connor's actually going to go to every single game.
Kansas City,
He's going to be on field reporting. What do you know about Coach Ponch? And we're going to win the World Cup? That's how we feel?
I love the confidence. We need you guys, man, at those games and hyping people up, getting everyone excited, get the country behind us.
We'll come to practice if you need us. If you need us to practice, we'll come. Whatever you need.
All right. Hey, that could work for sure. But yeah, we've spent a little time with the coach so far, and yes, short stints, getting to know him a little bit and working with the team. He obviously has a lot of experience coaching at the highest level in Europe. So I think it's an exciting time, and we should definitely look forward to it.
Last question, because I think a big part of the storyline is about how Americans get treated playing European soccer. And I think we read something where one person compared it to what the Europeans were like in the NBA like 30 years ago.
In the 90s.
Back whenever like Kukoc was getting the final shot instead of Scottie Pippen and the reaction and everything like that. I think there's a lot of that chatter. Do they view American soccer players still the same way they did 20 years ago? And if they did, do you ever look at them and say, what the hell have you created over here in Europe? You ever say that or no?
Maybe not exactly that. I think they may have taken me, taken that line and ran with it a little bit in some ways of, that American bias. I think for sure you could see the English have that running joke, that we can't play football, whatever. But I would say that I don't feel that way anymore. I honestly, I think it's come a long way for sure. I don't look at myself as a victim or looked at it anyway. I think anyone coming into Europe from anywhere else in the world, it can be difficult. So there's always challenges in that way, but I think I'm well respected, and I don't necessarily, think that they're out to get me in any way like that.
Do you ever think about telling them that America is better than all of their countries combined? Do you ever think about that?
Oh yeah, I think about it. Maybe I don't say it, but I'll always think it.
Just at breakfast or lunch, looking at them. Where are you from? Oh, that country sucks in comparison to mine. Just let them all know, okay? And we want to let you know you're doing us incredibly proud. Keep kicking ass out over there, and we can't wait for you to win the World Cup so we can act like American stooges all over the place. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
USA! USA! That's because of you.
Hell yeah. Come on.
This is a football press conference. Cheering USA for soccer. We're all behind you. Ladies and gentlemen, he has a documentary available now on Paramount Plus. Captain America from the soccer team, Christian Pulisic.
Yeah, Christian.
It would be so much better if we just beat everybody in that sport. Because you know how they say, it's the world's game. It's the most beautiful game. It'd be nice if people like this would just go in there and just smack them around and we'd win the World Cup. Especially in America. Could you fathom? We win the World Cup in America and we'd all be saying, it's coming home. Tom Jones.
Oh, no.
Tom Jones is
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Tom Jones version. Yeah, you were singing.
No. I was singing the Gumpy.
Coleman
mix that
was
he
singing
did
Diddy for
about
sure.
England.
Definitely.
No, I wasn't. No, that's bullshit, Hog. Shut up.
You weren't singing Tom Jones's. You were singing Puff Daddy.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't. That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not, look what you're gonna get me run out of this building.
That guy loves
I
Puff
did
Daddy.
not. That's not true, Tony. Don't do this. Don't do this, Diggs.
All right, we are 37 minutes away from this press conference happening, and I think this place is going to be on fire. You know, as people have filed in. Look at, I mean, this is pretty insane. I saw the North Carolina press conference yesterday. That was cute. Hey, Lombo, that was cute. Hey, Bubba, that was cute. Bill, that was cute. Look at these beautiful Mountaineers showing up. Country road. Hey. Wow, it's beautiful. Listen, recruits, you want to be a part of this place, okay? And they got, koozies. That's what he was just trying to shake my hand. He was trying to give me one of these koozies, my man right here. Absolute dog. We're ready. We are excited.
Very sweet.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Chance down.
Reaching out. Touching me. Touching you. Sweet Caroline. All right, so I just want to get one more in, if we could. That's every single conversation. Let's get back to the NFL. Odell Beckham Jr. no longer a part of the Miami Dolphins.
What?
Oh, man.
No way.
Sorry, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
All right, Gob. It's a hell of a run. He and the Dolphins have elected to part ways. I believe he was getting a $3 million salary. I think it was like $1 million with some upside. He obviously had done nothing for the Miami Dolphins thus far. We saw him whenever he played the Indianapolis Colts. He just did a conditioning period. He just ran sprints down the middle of the field.
Committed.
Obviously, at that point, they couldn't throw the football because Tua was out. Then he would go to the sideline. He's in shape, we can say, that we've seen with our eyes.
Yep.
Look for him to go back to, like, the Rams. They're saying the Chargers need a weapon. I assume he has a house in L.A. and then maybe even the Ravens. What if the Ravens had another weapon? I don't know if Gumpy's microphone works back there or not. Gumpy, diehard Dolphins fan. How do you feel about the loss of Oh, jeez.
Doesn't work.
Yikes.
Never mind.
Doesn't work.
That's what his thoughts are. He just farted into a mic, seemingly.
The Ravens kind of make sense because he was there last year and actually performed pretty well with them last year. And if Deontay Johnson's going to not go into games, Odell could fill right in.
So Odell Beckham Jr. could be a massive free agent signing. Is that what we're assuming here? Is there going to be interest, AJ? Is that what we're thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume he clears waivers, obviously. But, yeah, someone will bring him in for a nice little playoff push. What do you pay him? You only owe him, minimum for whatever games he's there?
Yeah, I would assume it'd be league men, get a nice weapon in there, maybe drop some plays for him to have success. When he was with McVay, obviously he had success. With the Ravens, he had some success. This year with the Dolphins, hasn't been great following a knee surgery, I believe. So maybe he gets back into form somewhere. College football awards were last night. Congrats to Genty winning, Maxwell and Doak Walker. Congrats to Travis Hunter winning the Bednarik and the Walter Camp and Bolitnikoff. And congrats to Coach Cignetti winning the Coach of the Year. Now, the reason why that's so important, he goes from JMU to the Big Ten, brings like 13 of his guys, almost goes undefeated, win Coach of the Year. Look out for Jacksonville State's old coach to come back to West Virginia and do the same damn thing. We'll see you on the other side of this break. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Joining us is a demon. Ladies and gentlemen, O's the Mentalist will be joining us.
All right, O's.
Let's go. What's the pick? I'm not giving away for free. Bill, what time is it right now?
7:57.
Write it as big as you can.
Wow.
It's about to get weird. From this point on, I never touch this bad boy. We're going to revisit later in the draft.
All right, O's, get in here, you sick son of a
weird.
bitch.
Almost 2 hours.
Hold it. Oh, don't drop it.
Oh, no, I dropped it.
Okay, AJ, take the cards, look through them, and here's the thing. I want this to be random. Yeah, you can.
Okay, yeah, what's up? My hands are a bit frozen, but yeah.
I want you to take, but hold on. I don't want you to look for your favorite.
Bill's booking Sean Payton right now.
There we go. Head boy, Bill.
AJ, slow slow. Lift. No.
What, one of your guys?
Take off a piece.
Oh,
it could
she
be a lot
fucked
or
my
a little.
shirt. Oh, right here.
And don't look at it. Lift it up.
I'm not.
Put it against your body. That feel right?
Yeah, feels
AJ,
great.
if you don't feel like this was the right moment for you and you want to change, put it back.
All right, I'm putting it back.
It's up to you. All right, lift off wherever you want.
We're back.
More or less. A piece.
No, that's not, okay. Now I'm
you
good.
want. Is
3
that
times.
good?
Good.
Okay.
This is a good one.
Are you sure?
Yeah, of course.
Stay right there, locked and loaded.
Oh, you fucked up my shirt, Frank.
Okay. And there is a white piece of paper.
Yep.
Is that right? That's all that's in there. Take that out.
Okay.
I want you to see this. Look, AJ, open it up.
No fucking way.
No way. Show us and show AJ what you got. What is that? Show us. 9 turn around and show us where you're at.
You ready?
Yep, turn it around.
No way. Shut up! This guy! 757, that thing worked.
That's been in there since 7:57. Imagine that you somehow know the game of the year next season. Tell us, what are the two teams that you're seeing in this game? Say it.
Packers and 49ers.
Who do you think's going to win that game?
Packers 34, Niners 27.
Tell me on your life. Did I tell you to say anything? Did I
you
say
did it, and I swear to God, if you get this right, I'm gonna rip your fucking head off.
Tell him the game of the year.
Oh my
Read
God.
Read it to him, please.
Come on, bro.
Read him to him. Packers beat the 49ers 34-27. Remember this screen grab when it happens this season. Open up what's been in there since 7:57.
Come on, dude. There's something wrong with you.
Open it up. It says Brock Bowers, 13th
How?
pick Raider.
Fuck this guy.
Oh, fucking way! There's no way! This guy's a witch. Bears, Caleb Williams.
100% we knew it.
Commanders, Jaden Daniels.
No, don't you
Patriots, Drake May. Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr. Chargers, Joe Walt. Giants, Malik Neighbors. Titans, J.C. Latham. Michael Penix Jr. Roma Dunze. Vikings from
Traded
Jets.
with the Jets.
What? J.J. McCarthy, Jets from Vikings. Olu Fashanu, Broncos, Bo Nixon in the 13th pick. Oh my God! Bowers to the Raiders.
I'm so happy I'm not.
Beautiful. Taped on his chest since 7:57. Right now it is 9:50.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Hour 2, the Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk sitting in Pat's desk. Bill Belichick's a coach at North Carolina. Rich Rod is back at WVU. Football! It's what's happening, Pat. Conman, what are you guys doing? I see you guys somewhat libations, they call them. You guys are pouring out.
It's a celebration down here. Okay, there's some beers being sold in the concession stand here to celebrate a press conference. But also the Country Roads Trust is the money-making operation here for the sports. They have beer that's available here. They have whiskey here. They have this particular bottle here. Cheers Beers and Mountaineers. That is real. Yeah. They have this one here. You can't buy it. And I said, well, why do you have it if you can't buy it? I thought we were trying to make money. Well, a guy bought the entire barrel for a lot of money. That guy's right here. The guy that gave me the, this guy is a dog right here. He's got some incredible boots on. He's an absolute beast. So we're just doing a little mixing. We're trying this stuff out. And, you know, if you want to buy any of it, Sport West Virginia, you certainly can. But we are just a matter of moments away from another West Virginia man, Nick Saban, joining us in about 10 minutes. And you hear the pop for him because it is very understood in this state that Nick Saban is a West Virginia guy. Now, obviously, he would go elsewhere and have massive success. But throughout this entire coaching, searching process for Ren Baker, Nick Saban was somebody that Ren was able to rely upon. I can't wait to talk to Coach Saban about why he thinks we got to Coach Rod coming back. But I also can't wait for Nick Saban to get a chance to experience these people. Just like he did whenever we were in Morgantown to kick off this season, I think he's reminded of how much he's beloved and how great of a football town this is. How do you feel 1 hour into this program, 4 hours into this day in Morgantown? How do you feel about the energy and the vibes?
Oh, the energy and the vibes are fantastic. I mean, to be honest, I watched you pour that beautiful nectar of the gods into that Coke Zero, and I very much want to try it. But I think with Saban, helping Ren Baker, helping West Virginia, it goes back to how much of a football state this is, because he hasn't, been really associated with the football program as closely. He's a Bama boy, obviously won a national championship at LSU, but for a guy like that to, give his time to Ren Baker to West Virginia, I think it kind of goes to the point of, like, they love football here. They want to win here. And hiring a guy like Rich Rod from West Virginia, it just means more, I think, to the team, to the state, to the university. That's a guy like that.
Yeah, Tone Diggs, obviously you're from Plum, up the road from me. And I think you've had a few nights in Morgantown,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got kicked out of, the Lazy Lizard and Club Z at the time. Those were good experiences. A lot of Plum kids go down to Morgantown, and then all the friends follow because, as Rich Rod said earlier, it was the #1 party school in the country at the time.
Yeah, at the time. At the time. I don't know.
What happened?
Getting back there.
So I think, and I don't want to talk out of pocket because I was not here during this time and I was not plugged in.
Sure.
I think there was a time where there was an idea that we need to potentially, because remember, whenever we left the Big East and we were trying to find a new conference, the SEC said, academically, I don't think so. The ACC said, academically, I don't think so.
Come on.
The Big Ten said, academically, we don't think so. Now, those are all excuses because they didn't want to get their asses whooped by the West Virginia Mountaineers.
Yeah.
But I do believe if you look into stats and analytics, it was potentially a thing. But that was a part of the charm of West Virginia. Like, hey, you go down to Morgantown, the football team's going to win, the basketball team's going to win, and you're going to win because you're going to have a great time. Now, a lot of the buildings that were hosting those good times, maybe we're falling apart at the seams.
Well,
maybe
it's gonna happen.
There's an area, Grant Street, McLean. I grew up in that area, Sunnyside area. That is where my house was. Houses were. We hosted some great team chemistry building cookouts there.
Sure.
Not parties. The whole city would show up. Fire marshal would come through. Cops would shut down the block. It was kind of understood what was going on. They kind of demolished that entire area, put up these big apartment complexes. So I think it's kind of taken away from that particular aspect. But you walk around Morgantown, it is beautiful.
Yeah.
So whenever you talk about recruiting or bringing people in, you come into this Morgantown, you see tradition, history, and obviously Woodburn Hall and everything up there, and the mountain layer is beautiful, and everything you could potentially want from an academic standpoint is available here. But there's also an energy of a good time here. And I think Coach Rod is very adamant to bring that back. I think that is something we're going to win games and we're going to celebrate them. That is how this is going to go. That is what the fall semesters are going to be like in Morgantown, West Virginia. And we're going to get great degrees, right?
Fantastic.
We're going to get great degrees.
Some of the best.
We're going to go to school. We're going to do our thing.
Not
we're going
quite
to
as
change
loud
the
a
world.
cheer there.
2.0s.
And maybe even someday I'll graduate.
Yeah. Why not?
I mean, after all this money you're given, you have to. They got to give you one.
I mean, maybe a doctorate. I mean, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Just
other
hand
guys
it
that come back. I know there's celebrities that get those.
No, I want to earn it. That's what West Virginia's all about. I want to earn it.
Hard edge.
That's good.
It's a hard edge.
Yeah.
And I think we are going back. And, I think, like I mentioned, all those guys from back in my team's era, like they're all pumped to get back in and see how can we help. How can we help this thing get back to what it was? And that's what today is obviously a celebration about. Last night's game, Niners-Rams, got to talk about it. Obviously, the only football game that took place this weekend. Army-Navy's happening,
Yep.
And
I believe that's it.
okay, that's good news. So the only game that has taken place or for us to chit-chat about on this particular Friday is Niners-Rams. Snooze Fest. AJ, your take on the game, Thursday Night Football?
A little bit of snooze fest. Hey, Puka's still doing Puka things, making unbelievable catches, trapping into the dudes' helmets, and that deep ball late in the game I think was huge for the Rams. But yeah, Matthew Stafford, he's a wizard, still doing it at this age.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford was drafted in the same draft class as myself, and he got enough money as the #1 overall pick then to buy the entire city of Detroit.
Just like AJ.
Just like AJ Hawk did as the #5 overall pick. So the fact that he still plays the way that he plays, Sean McVay had him doing quarterback sneaks He did a boot, an empty boot on like a 3rd and 2 or something like that. He was getting his ass beat last night, and it was very visible. And I don't think Matthew Stafford cares. He just wants to win football, which is why Matthew Stafford would have been a great Rich Rodriguez, West Virginia Mountain. Perfect. All he wants to do is win ball. And I think that's like the big noble thing about Matt. He can spin it. Obviously, he's been playing a long time. He is a tough dude. And I think that was evident last night in this game. And I think it's been evident throughout his entire career, AJ.
Well, I mean, if anyone's seen any of the clips of Matthew Stafford mic'd up, he basically has a broken back and he's gotten demolished and he keeps coming back over and over and making plays. I think that's his career. That's what he's done. Have you guys having a chug off on Coke Zero and booze?
I would never.
No, the issue here is
floater.
You see the hole on the can, it's small.
Yeah, you got a
small hole.
Yeah.
So when you're pouring this delightful 1863 West Virginia Gold, available now.
Some of them.
Buy some booze, support some sports. I mean, that's not a bad thing. When you're trying to pour it in there, it gets on the rim.
Sure.
It's on the rim. So every sip is basically a shot of whiskey. Mm-hmm. And then there is a little bit of Coke Zero.
Delicious.
This is West Virginia Gold.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, they're going to have $50 million in NIL because of this shit.
It's worth it. Listen, I know there's some whiskey drinkers out there. And Ty, we need to get you some. Ty, I know you're hammering about a bottle a night, so we need to get you started on these 1863s, Ty.
Yeah, I haven't been able to take my eyes off that since it was first placed on the desk. I've kind of just been getting lost in it as we're looking at it. And you guys' reaction to it, it seems to be going down smooth. I do need to get myself a bottle or 50 of that 1863.
Yeah, support the team. Support the team, Ty. Also, would like to let you know, here at West Virginia, not just about the good times and the good booze.
Oh, no.
We're also innovative. There's a ball marker right in the top of the thing here. This is a ball marker.
Oh, wow.
For golf.
Pretty cool.
That's neat.
Take it on the golf course. Get absolutely shithoused. And then spot and mark your ball on the green. We're thinking about everything here at West Virginia. Joining us now is an export of West Virginia. Born and raised here. Played football here, played baseball here. Then he went out into the college football world and became the greatest of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Nick Saban.
Yeah,
Hey,
How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. You're back in West Virginia, huh?
That's right. We got a big press conference today announcing Rich Rodriguez as the head coach. Ren Baker's going to be out here in a matter of moments, which leads me to my question for you. I don't think it's any secret now at this point, probably because of me. That's on me. You were a part of this coaching search process alongside Ren Baker. Why did you want to help, and how did you go about doing that?
Well, West Virginia University has always been really important to me, and I grew up there being a big-time Mountaineer fan. Biggest thing that happened to me in a year was when my dad take me to one Mountaineer game every fall, and that never leaves you. I remember when I was a kid watching Jerry West play basketball. I mean, that never leaves you. So my heart's always been with West Virginia. I actually coached there for a couple years, and I love the people in the state. We have a lot of good friends and relationships in the state, and I'm happy that Rich is back, and I think he'll do a great job there. Him being a West Virginia person, grew up about 6 or 7 miles from where I grew up, and I'm glad that he came back, and he had great success there in the past. Obviously, coaching great players like you helped him do that. But other than that, we're just excited for him.
Okay, so let's talk about the process a little bit. Everything you do, you are very much deep in it. You're going to be well-versed, well-researched for everything. I got to see that with College Game Day. It has been an honor to watch you work and work alongside of you. Whenever Ren calls and asks for some assistance, what does that mean? Are you watching film? Are you talking to people? What was really your job in this entire process?
Well, I think that it's probably, the cumulative effect of, a lot of years and experience that, I have with working with a lot of good coaches, but also watching coaches, out there have success in terms of what their process is and, what kind of principles and values that they try to instill in their organization, whether it's discipline, toughness, the way you compete in a game, whatever it is. And, I've always had a tremendous amount of respect for Rich. And, he came to visit us a couple times at Alabama when I was coaching there. was very helpful and beneficial to, our staff. He's a great mind. He was an innovator in the game. I mean, everybody does zone reads now like it's nothing, but he invented it. So I think this guy's, great. And I guess I just talked to Ren a couple times about who was the best fit. Who was the best fit for West Virginia? It's not just about coaching knowledge or what your record was in some other part of the country, but how do you fit? How do you believe? How are you going to relate to the people? How are you going to be able to recruit the kind of players you need to compete against, the competition and dominate the competition? And I think Rich is the right guy to do that.
Hell yeah, Coach. AJ has a question for you, Coach.
Coach, Rich Rod's going to be up here doing his introductory press conference here very soon. Whenever you addressed, you got a new job and you had a press conference, did you give much thought to it? Did you have a plan going in? Do you have a little speech written? Like, I would assume, the
thing like that. I mean, I always had a message in terms of, what we're going to try to accomplish, what we're going to try to do, whether it was that week in a game. I remember the press conference I had when I went to Alabama. The message was we want to be a team that nobody wants to play. I wanted the people to understand that. I wanted the players in the program to understand it, the players that we were going to recruit in the future to understand that. So, there's always a message. And, I think, Rich was at West Virginia once before. The advice that I would give him, that his message needs to be that, he made a huge mistake when he left, and the greatest thing that ever happened to him was having the opportunity to come back.
Coach, how do you feel like this college football season has gone as we pivot away from this press conference? And obviously, as members of College Game Day, we get a different view because we get to go to the biggest game every single week. And in the future, it feels like we're going to be taking a lot of stops in Morgantown, West Virginia. Oh, sorry, had to do that. Had to. You've seen me operate, yeah. What do you think about this college football season? How would you describe how it's gone thus far as we head into the college football playoff?
Well, I think that the thing that has been most difficult for most teams, other than Oregon, is have you been able to play with consistency, and have you been able to keep the same standard of excellence as you progress through the season, and has your team improved so that you can play consistently in not only big games, but also every game that you play, and be where your feet are and be focused on what you need to do. I think that's been the thing that's been most challenging, I think, for most coaches. Maybe the circumstance that the players in is a little different now, so we all need to adapt and adjust to how do we figure out how we can get these guys to play at a high level on a more consistent basis. Because, it's not only the season, it creates value for them. I mean, when a player plays to his full potential, when he's not up and down in terms of what his performance is, and he's consistent in the way he goes about his work and taking care of business, I mean, that creates value for him, which ultimately is what you want to do as a coach. But I think it's more challenging now based on the environment that we're in, and I think it created some inconsistency in play for some teams this year.
I think so too. And Coach, if you were still the head coach at Alabama with 3 losses, they're getting in the playoff.
No doubt.
SMU's got no shot. But hey, SMU is very thankful that you retired, as we all are, that you're a part of College Game Day. Conman's got a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, after West Virginia hiring Rich Rod, the second biggest hiring is definitely Bill Belichick down at UNC. What do you think about that whole plan for UNC? I don't know if you saw the Bill Belichick contract and things of that nature, but there's escalators and stuff like that, and there's an out possibly. Why did you think he went to UNC, and do you see other guys from the NFL maybe making the jump to college because it is much more like the pro game now?
Well, I'm happy for Bill. I think he probably wanted a new challenge, and this is certainly going to be a great challenge for him. North Carolina is a great academic institution, as well as they've got plenty of, athletic tradition there in basketball, football, and Bill's a great coach. And I think the biggest difference, and I coached both, I coached in the NFL, as a coordinator, as an assistant, as a head coach, and I coached in college, and all 3 of those responsibilities as well, is coaching the players is really not that different. People always say, well, that's really hard to coach some guys in the NFL. I never thought that was a problem. If you're a good coach and you create value for those guys, they love you because you're going to extend their career, they're going to make more money, and they're happy. The difference in college is how do you bring guys to the team? You know, it's different than drafting guys than it is to have to recruit them, because recruiting is like a full-time relationship building 365 days a year in terms of not only evaluating the players that you want, but creating the relationships with them to get them. Now, everybody says it's like the NFL because they're making money now, but it really still takes you to be able to sell them that you're going to develop them. And I think Bill will be able to do that. But I think the biggest thing that will be a challenge for him is the time that you have to spend recruiting, making phone calls, talking to parents, and all those types of things to get the kind of players that you need. You know, having the resources is important to be able to pay them. And I'm glad that the players get paid. I'm not crazy about the system that they're getting paid in, but I hope we can get that fixed. But I do think this guy is going to, Bill will do a great job there of getting good players, and he'll do a great job of developing those players. The biggest adjustment for him will be the time spent recruiting.
Okay, Coach, on that note, I think there's a lot of people, I mean, maybe myself included, and I have not been in your position or in the college football world long enough to think like this, but like people see what happened with Coach Prime, where Coach Prime's not taking as many in-house visits. He kind of does everything via FaceTime or Zoom, and then he's able to land, obviously, because he's Coach Prime, and everybody has faith and trust that he's going to be able to get their boys to become successful men. How much do you think Bill Belichick will be able to cut out of that old school having to recruit? How much can he just sell, like, hey, you're basically coming to an NFL academy, as opposed to the texting and calling and schmoozing and winning and two-stepping like you've seen your ass do, you know, with the families? How much of that is he able to potentially get away from, or is that not possible in college ball still?
Well, I think it's not as important to the same degree. I think you still have to do it to some degree. But I do think, you know, one of the, you know, I was the defensive coordinator at Michigan State when George Perlis got the head coaching job. He hired me, you know, there to do that. And his presence, because he had been a coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers that won 4 Super Bowls, his presence went a long way in recruiting with all these kids. I mean, they all want to play in the NFL. And, you know, Bill can certainly sell them on the fact, with all of his success in the NFL and the ways he's developed players and the reputation he has as a coach, that he's going to be able to do that. And that's going to go a long way, you know, for these players, because regardless of what they can make in college, it doesn't touch what they can make if they have successful careers in the NFL. So I do think that, you know, Bill is going to be able to use who he is as a coach as a tremendous selling tool and be able to get great players because of it.
Coach, I hope it works out for him, because as I stare down a future retirement, it'd be pretty cool to be a coach, GM of a college team and not have to do any of the recruiting.
That'd be sweet.
That would be sweet. So, hey, good luck down there, Lombo. Good luck down there,
Okay,
Bill.
Michael.
Hope you guys win every game except for against the West Virginia Mountaineers. That's what I hope happens. Tone Diggs has a question for you back in the Thunderdome, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to ask you about the playoff coming up. When the playoff first started, 4 out of the first 5 years, it was either you or Dabo in the national championship game and being the winner of that game. And them being a 12 seed, how much does it benefit them that Dabo's has so much experience in the college football playoff? And are they a dangerous 12 seed because of all that experience that Dabo does have?
I don't think there's any question about the fact that if you have experience, you know, it's like, you know, we all kind of create new horizons for ourselves in terms of what we do. So when you make the playoffs the first time, it's like a new experience. You're not sure what the practice schedule should be, where we should go, how much time off should we have for Christmas. I mean, you got all these factors that you got to, because it's different than the normal routine of a regular, you know, week game during the season. So, and then how to handle the players, how to motivate the players, how to make sure that you get them back to top performance because you have some time off, and how you manage the time off. I think all those factors are a benefit when you have experience, because you've created that horizon for yourself before, so you experienced it, and it's going to be beneficial to your players. And the confidence that you have because you have been successful in those situations, I think, is important as well. So, but I still think that, you know, this competition now with the 12 teams that are in there and who you have to play, you're not going to play any bad teams. So you're not going to be able to make a lot of mental errors. turn the ball over, not score in the red zone, all the things that contribute to winning, that's still going to be what, in the end, creates winning and losing, I think, in these playoffs.
Coach, how do you think the weather may affect some of these early games where teams are hosting, say Ohio State's obviously hosting Tennessee, people are going on the road. I know Indiana, Notre Dame, they've all played in the elements before, but how do you think weather plays a factor in all this?
Well, I think it's a factor. I think, cold weather, wind, the ball's harder to catch, the ball's harder to hold on to, the ball's harder to throw. I don't think there's any question about the fact that it could have an impact on some of these games, depending on, how can these teams from the South adapt to playing in the North. No different than, if you're a Northern team and you have to go play in the South in the end of August and it's 100 degrees. So I do think that it's going to be a factor to some degree, but your maturity as a competitor is an opportunity for you to show that maturity when you play in circumstances that aren't perfect for you. Because like I used to always tell our guys, they would say, well, when I was at Michigan State, I don't want to come up here and play because it's cold. And I would say, what if you get drafted by the Green Bay Packers? You're going to have to play in the cold. So it's an opportunity for you to learn how to adapt and adjust and play in those circumstances and situations. And for a Southern team to go north now, it's an opportunity to them to prove that this is not going to affect who they are as a player.
Coach, I think, Pat, there you go. We back?
Coach, whenever you think about environments, whenever you look at this college football playoff, and we obviously have a bracket for you here, obviously you got Ohio State hosting, you got Notre Dame hosting, you got Texas hosting. Which game? Penn State is hosting. I believe it's a noon game, so we won't get the full whiteout. Which game are you excited to kind of watch and see how the team handles the environment and how the school shows up?
Well, I think the Ohio State-Tennessee game is going to be an interesting game. First of all, Tennessee has a little bit different kind of offense in terms of the spread. I think, Ohio State, everybody thought their roster was one of the best in the country, which I still do, but losing a couple, tough games, especially the Michigan game, this is an opportunity for them to show who they are. Their fans are all upset because they lost to Michigan. They have a great opportunity to go win the national championship, and that's what they should be focused on, looking ahead to try to do that. And, let all naysayers know, that old saying comes up again where we can prove we are the best team in the country, and we have an opportunity to do it because we're in the playoffs, and it starts with Tennessee. So Tennessee being in the SEC, I have a lot of respect for them and the kind of team that they have, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
All right, Coach, we're going to get to this press conference here and continue this celebration back in your home state of West Virginia. I miss you this week, man. We're not doing dinner tonight. I'm bummed out. I'm bummed out about it.
Yeah, I hear you. But in the meantime, I'm glad you're there with Rich Rod. Tell him I said hello and congratulate him and congratulate all those folks that are there for that press conference. They did a good thing here, and they're going to be successful because of it, and we're going to be behind them all the way.
Hell yeah. They love you, Coach. You're the best. I can't wait to see you next week. And cold ass. Hey, bring your furs, bub. It's going to be cold. Your little ass is going to be doing one of these next week in Indiana. You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT, Coach Saban. Thank you, man.
Coach.
AJ, you obviously can't see it because we only have a camera facing this direction, but it's starting to fill up in this particular area here. That only means one thing. I believe the proceedings are about to get started here in a matter of a few moments. Connor, think there's going to be any flubs? I think there's going to be no flubs this entire press conference.
No chance. No flubs at all from Rich Rod. I think it's going to be 100 miles per hour on the gas, on the corner, right down Broadway. I'm very pumped to hear what he has to say and what the future of this program is going to look like.
I tried to break the ice a little bit by swearing a couple times, just to let Coach Rod know, like, hey, if one slips out, you're okay.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to want to. I think he's going to want to let these people know how thankful and grateful he is to be back. And I think, making it right is going to be the big storyline. AJ, have you ever been in one of these? Have you ever been in one of these coaching pressers? I was trying to think back. I don't think I ever have. Your question for Nick was a good one because obviously Miami Dolphins, LSU, then back at Alabama, he's had to talk numerous times to a fan base. This is a little different, obviously, because he knows these people, but have you ever been to one of these things?
No, I never have. And I was thinking of like Sirianni when we saw his first press conference. Like your first impression can go a long way. We know that, and Sirianni is the man. We've seen that over the years. But I think the first, obviously, Rich Rod coming back home, it's a little bit different. But yeah, I mean, this is his first time introducing himself to a lot of those young kids in there for sure.
Now, they've all seen the highlights. A lot of their older siblings or even parents celebrated a lot of nights.
Maybe burnt some couches here in.
That got banned. That got outlawed. Just like flag planting in Ohio. You guys got to make laws?
That's not a thing. That's not a law.
To plant flags on your field over there? That's not Ohio.
I don't know anybody that supported that. I don't know anyone that supported that. Yeah.
Well, just know this. You can tell that lawman that if West Virginia plays Ohio State at the Horseshoe and West Virginia gets a win, Rich Rodriguez will not let them plant a flag on anybody's field. This will be a respectful team. This will not be a team that tries to fight. But if you want to fight us, we will beat the shit out of you. That was kind of the mindset for the team that I was lucky to be a part of. A lot of people wanted to fight our team. That's what it was. When we showed up, it was like when the Yankees showed up. People were getting their first sellouts. People's donors were showing up. They were having concerts outside because we were coming to town. Ooh, the West Virginia Mountaineers are coming to town. Let's make it a big ordeal. And they always try to maybe get a little chirpy with us before the game. And we were very much a team. And you heard Rich Rod's meeting yesterday. We were very much a team that hey, we're not going to start this. But if you want to be about it, we are certainly about it. And I think that's what's about to get built in this beautiful state of West Virginia. Now, without further ado, I do believe it is time to make this thing official. From the great city of Morgantown, West Virginia, live from the WVU Coliseum, the official press conference to announce Rich Rodriguez as the head coach will begin right now. All right, let's go. Let's do this thing. Ladies.
Understand me? Clean, legal football. Nothing cheap, nothing dirty, but West Virginia football. West Virginia football. Held the rope till the end. That's the way we play football at West Virginia University. We play hard all the time. That's fine. They don't know what's about. West Virginia football. Out of the field. The ball game is over. Proud of the young men. Everything was against us. 2 goal line stands. They're expecting some big party. We're not having a party today. It's a football game. Understand me? We're playing a football game. It's not a party. Holding that damn rope. And we ain't letting it go. But you'll have fun when you play a football game the way we play.
It's a ball caught touchdown. West Virginia wins. Touchdown. Brady, first down, West Virginia. So that kick is good. 25-20, 15-10, 5, end zone, touchdown. He did it. Patrick White.
Until you play us, you understand how physical we are. You ain't backing down from nobody. Every step, on every step, let them know what we're about. That means when they play the Mountaineer, now you play West Virginia football, put a little more tape on, take the shoes up a little tighter, put a little more air in the helmet, and you better what? Stop it!
Good afternoon, Mountaineer Nation, and it indeed is a great day to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be. We are here this afternoon to formally bring back Rich Rodriguez as the 36th head coach of West Virginia University. It's back, and it's to the future for the Mountaineer football program. And today, Rich returns home. We'll hear from athletic, yes indeed. We were talking a few moments ago, and you look back and 17 years goes by really, really quickly. And you look back and you saw the highlights there, the memories that we all kind of cherish still to this very day. And the traditions that Rich started back in 2002, the playing of country roads after every Mountaineer victory. And the plan is, the plan is to hear a lot more of John Denver going forward. And so without any further ado, please welcome our athletic director, vice president of West Virginia University, Mr. Ren Baker.
What a great day and what a great atmosphere. Give yourselves a round of applause. There are a lot of people to welcome and thank, but I want to start by just saying thank you to Pat McAfee. Thank you so much. This has been an awesome infomercial for everything that is special about this program and about this state. I'd like to begin by thanking all of you for coming today for the introduction of our next head football coach. Our fans and supporters are the reason that WVU athletics has been successful, and they are the reason that we will thrive in the future. So thank you so much for coming out like this today. Coach, I met a lot of these people, and a lot of them claim they went to school with you. I didn't know North Marion was that big. We need some fact checks on some of that. So I want to take a moment to give a special thanks to some of the staff members that assisted us on the search. Natasha Oakes, Ben Murray, Rob Alsop, and give them a round of applause. Great job by them. Michael Fergale and Kathy Martin also were very helpful as we went through this process, and so thank you to both of you. Give them a round of applause. And we are so happy to have great leadership at this institution. So I want to take a moment to thank President Gordon Gee, our Board of Governors, Stephanie Taylor, and all of our leadership. Please stand up and let us give you a round of applause. The alignment, vision, and leadership at WVU is a reason that we got through this search, and they were very helpful as we went through it. It is also an honor to welcome the Rodriguez family back home today. Miss Rita, Rhett, Raquel, we are so grateful that you've chosen to come back home, and we want to make you feel warm and welcome back here in the state of West Virginia. Give them a round of applause. So today's a day of celebration. We celebrate our place as one of the top 15 winningest football programs of all time. And today, yes, give that a round of applause. Hell yeah. And today, one of our own is returning home. In a few minutes, you will hear from our new coach, but I'll take a minute or two on the search process. We had tremendous interest in this job from all over the country. Assisted by Parker Search, we vetted dozens of candidates, interviewed over 15, narrowed that down, and candidates wanted this job because of our history, our tradition, our resources, but time and time again, we heard it was because of you, the passionate fans of West Virginia. As I outlined at the onset of this search, we had some qualities we desired in our next head coach. Someone who understands and will embrace West Virginia values, work ethic, passion, grit, and determination
that makes us Mountaineers. Someone committed to building championship programs on the field and leaders off the field. Someone who can demonstrate knowledge of navigating the complexities of an ever-changing college athletics world, and someone who can represent us and make us proud of their leadership of what is the most visible aspect of the university and state. Finally, we wanted someone who would entrench themselves in West Virginia. This is an awesome place to live and work. It's a privilege to represent Mountaineer Nation, and we felt like it would be important for our next head coach to understand that. One candidate stood above all others. Coach Rodriguez is a winner. He has coached and won football at virtually every level of college football. He's an innovator and has been known for his creativity and adaptability of his schemes over the years. It was amazing as we interviewed other candidates, and I would always ask them, have you ever been to Morgantown? How many of them said, yeah, I was there about 20 years ago to learn something from Rich Rod about offense. I was like, you do read the newspapers, right? He's involved in this search. Not only has he won at a high level, but he won here. And West Virginia is a fit job. It's a great job, but not just everybody can come here and win. And we wanted somebody that we knew could win here. So we knew we were getting a winner, but we also wanted a leader. So I talked to administrators from every university that Rich has ever worked at. I spoke with former student athletes from different places. I spoke with coaches who've coached with, for, and against him. And every one of them spoke highly of his competitiveness and his desire to bring out the best in everyone in his program. His relentless desire to chase perfection has been a key ingredient to him winning games and building championship programs. One of the greatest things about life is we get to learn from our mistakes. And Coach Rodriguez was quick to articulate it and acknowledge he had made some. But he was sincere and genuine in owning those mistakes and subsequent lessons he learned from them. I know he is eager to return home to prove it to his home state. I believe this is my 25th search, and we did more calls on this one than any other one. After all that homework, I am confident that we have the best candidate to lead the program to championships and the college football playoff. Although, Coach, there was one thing I couldn't verify. I may have to ask Pat this. He claimed in the interview process he's never gotten a 15-yarder for unsportsmanlike. I could not verify if that is true or not. I need to.
Deserved a lot.
I believe Pat had something to say about that. I also learned he's a loving husband and father during our process and a shameless dog dad to 2 Pomeranians, who I'm suspicious do not have a hard edge. We got people cheering for the dogs here, Coach. So it's such a great honor and privilege to have Coach back. And I have some advice to some of our competitors. You might want to put a little extra tape on. You might want to lace those shoes up a little tighter. Maybe put just a little more air in that helmet. Because West Virginia is getting ready to hold the rope, spot the ball, and be West Virginia football. Please welcome Coach Rich Rodriguez.
Oh, man. Wow. Got me jacked up right there. Oh, thank you so much. This is, Okay. Any other Pitt fans can leave the building. We're good. We're good. Gosh, it's great. You know, this is really surreal. It is great to be home. Should never left. You know. But I am very, very appreciative of the opportunity to come back home to be your head football coach at West Virginia University. Big thanks to Ren Baker. He did a thorough search, interviewed 1,000 candidates, Zoom called 100,000 candidates, and finally, he's a smart guy, you know, really smart. President Gee and the board, I really appreciate it. I know there is a lot of people that want this job because it's a great job, and I've been in the shoes before, and so is my friend sitting in front of me, who I want to introduce, and you guys know, a Hall of Fame football coach, and my coach, Mr. Dahn Nealon, right here. And while I'm thinking about it, and I've always felt this way, and it's great to have Pat McAfee representing West Virginia University every day like he does. But and Pat and I want every player that ever played for any coach here at West Virginia, from Coach Bowden to Coach Signetti to Coach Dillon to myself, to Coach Holgerson, to Coach Brown, to Coach Stewart, every one of you former athletes, you are always welcome to come back home to West Virginia, always. I try not to get too emotional. I have so many friends, and I didn't realize North Marion had that many students either. I had a graduating class of 10,000, I think, at North Marion High School, but all of my friends from North Marion and from Granttown and all my supporters throughout the year, a couple I'm going to mention here in a little bit, but they're all been like family for me forever. And that's what's so neat about coming back. But I do have some really close family members that I haven't got to see very much in the last 17 years, which I'm so excited about having. And my mom, Arlene, there's my mom, Arlene, right there. My brothers, Steve and Kenny, are up here in the second row. My mother-in-law, Barbara, my sister-in-law, Dorinda. And then I even got cousins here that I haven't seen in a long time. And it really means a lot to me. And so many people that are here, that were there when I was back and made that mistake of leaving 17 years ago, that are still here working. It tells me they still love this place as I do. And it'll always be home, but let me take a second. There are three people that have been with me on every journey, here, gone, and back, my wife Frida, my son Rhett, my daughter Raquel. Would you guys please stand? Oh boy. I also want to thank, and I haven't got a chance to do this because this stuff happens so quickly. The last 3 years, I was down at a wonderful university, Jacksonville State University in Jacksonville, Alabama. And they gave me the opportunity to build that program from 1AA to 1A, to get into a new league and try a new journey. And the athletic director, Greg Seitz, and the president, Dahn Killingsworth, and the people there have been terrific to myself and my family. And I think it gave me the opportunity to come back and maybe prove myself again and be able to have this opportunity at West Virginia. So I do want to thank all the folks at Jack State University. It's a great school. It's a great school, and appreciate that. Also, I lost a dear friend of mine. He was like a brother, coached with me here and just about every stop, and unfortunately I lost him 2 years ago. And I had great assistant coaches, but I had one in particular who was like my brother named Calvin McGee. And I wanted to tell, he would have loved to have been back as well. But I think there's so many people that when this opportunity came up, so many friends of mine in the state that love West Virginia, that have been supporters of mine, that said, do you think you got a chance to come back? And would you come back? And of course, I've thought about it, I've thought about it for a long, long time, but you just don't know if everything's going to line up right. And then if you're going to ever get that opportunity again, and I can promise you that all the support from people throughout the state that have been friends of mine, that love this state, that love this university, I really, really appreciate it. I can't thank you enough. And they weren't doing it for season tickets or the sideline passes, or they were doing it because, they're friends of mine, but more importantly, they love WVU like I do. And there's only one school in the country that I can coach at where I say, I know the town. I know what it's like to be a student there. I know what it's like to be an athlete there. I know what it's like to live in that state. I know what it's like to work there. And that's West Virginia University, in my opinion. And I have grown and learned and gotten better. I know everybody says you learn from your mistakes and you try to grow and learn, and I've tried to do that not just from 17 years ago, but from 27 years ago to 7 years ago to 7 days ago to 7 minutes ago. When that Pitt fan yahooed up right there, and my younger days would want to jump off this podium and talk to him in person. I'd have seen if he had a real hard edge, you know what I'm talking about, if he had a fake hard edge, a real hard edge. But my older, mature self would say, gosh, I'm blessed to have all you folks here. So I'll let you all take care of it, But I've tried to, throughout my career, and in particular, in the 17th year since I made the mistake of leaving, is how can I make myself better? How can I, not only as a coach, but as a person, what can I learn, whether I be able to come back home or not, wherever I'm at, where can I learn and grow and be the best version of myself and be able to help people like Pat McAfee, like all his teammates and the people that I coached before, be the best version of themselves. And I had to do it by learning from mistakes, but I also did it because, as I told our players, if you just stay where you're at, you're just always going to be where you're at. If you have a little bit of edge to you and you are mentally tough physically and mentally, and you work really hard, you're going to have success. So when Pat McAfee has the success that he has, it fills my heart because maybe just a couple of these long lectures that Coach Rod gave him back in the early 2000s took hold a little bit. And then he did the work and did what he did. So it's amazing. Thank you, Pat. And then I even it's kind of neat to see Pac-Man Jones on TV, I sometimes get a little nervous. I got to tell you a quick story about Pac-Man. It's his New Year's Eve, and it's 11:45 p.m., and I get a FaceTime call from Pac-Man. I'm thinking, oh boy. And then he's on there. He said, Coach, I'm at South Beach in Miami. Oh boy. 11:45. And then he said, no, let me see you my family here. He's introduced his wife, his kids, and little Chris Henry Jr. And I said, Pac, at 11:45, you're with your family in a hotel room, celebrate by yourself. Man, have you grown, man. I'm so proud of him. But all of my former players, every former player I've had, whether it's here or any place I've been, there's so much gratitude that I have for the work that they did and the processes that I put them through and the way they went about their business. I mean, there's nothing more important to me than my former players. So Owen Schmidt in the building. Owen Schmidt, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. The prime example, right? Walked by my office. I'll tell you a quick story because I like to ramble on, but I like to brag about my players. I don't remember what year it was, early 2000s, and this young man walks by with a lady, not much older than him, by my office, and it looked like they were lost. And I stopped and, who is this? And he said, this is Owen Schmidt, and this is my mother, and I'm at a Division III school in Maryland or somewhere, and I'm looking to transfer somewhere, and I'm like, he looks like he's going to be pretty good size. And I said, I didn't have any scholarships. Would you be willing to walk on? Sure, he walked on. And so he had to earn a scholarship. But I remember before he earned a scholarship, the strength coach came running up to me in my office and said, Owen Schmidt is down there power cleaning. You got to come down and watch him in a weight room. I said, okay, I'll come down there. And he had like 300 pounds, was doing a set of like 10. And then on the 11th set, he put it over his head. I said, damn, that's pretty good. I said, I think we got a spot for you, Owen. Now, he cost us a lot of money because he broke about 15 face masks, but that's okay. We'll take that. But Owen Schmidt and all those players that I coached here all had one thing in common. They had great passion for their teammates. They had great passion for football, but they had great passion for West Virginia University. And that's not like that everywhere. Our players will play harder than anybody in the country. I've always said that. I think I say this to my players all the time. A lot of people in the stands, they might not know the X's and O's. Some of them think they do, but that's okay. They might know all the schemes that they're doing, but they can sit in those stands, especially at West Virginia, and watch your team and tell if they're playing hard. You all can do that. And so one thing that I don't make a lot of promises and all that kind of stuff, but one thing I promise you, you turn and watch West Virginia players play, they will play their ass off. They will play hard. So I know ramble on. Tony's going to give some questions, and we'll have something in the media. But I do want to. All right, let me catch my breath here. I have thought about this moment, I get to coach at the greatest university in this country. I get to live in the greatest state in the union. And more importantly, I get to be around the greatest people that you could be around. Thank you very much. Let's go Mountaineers.
Thank you, Rich. We're going to open this up to the media members who are here, and we will do a question and answer. We've got Charles and we've got Richard with us here with the microphones. And so our press members, if you would, please raise your hand, identify yourself, and to whom you are asking the question. Go right ahead.
So, Rich, let's start with the emotions when Ren called you, offered it to you. Can you explain what that was like and how long did it take you to say yes?
Well, I think I said yes before he completed his sentence. I think Ren was very thorough, and I've been fortunate to be through a few of these processes before, and there's always a time frame to go with it, but everybody was really professional. It was no, lead you one way and go another way. Asked all the questions, even the hard questions. And the last 24 hours, when you get interviewed, you're thinking, okay, now I'm a finalist. And I'm thinking to myself, well, Miss Rita and I were like, let's not get our hopes up too high because we don't want to be devastated. So probably the last 7 or 8 hours, he tortured us, till there finally was a call and said, you ready to come back home? And the answer was, before he finished the sentence, are you kidding me? I might have said a bad word in between there, but yeah, very nice.
Luke Blaine, Daily Athenaeum. So, Coach, obviously, you experienced today an unruly fan, and there are fans out there who might still carry some hard feelings about the end of the 07 season. So do you have a message to fans who are a bit apprehensive about your return to Morgantown?
Sure. I understand there's fans upset, and at least they care, right? But sometimes, that not everything is as you think it is. But I made a mistake, and my promise to not just the folks that are upset, but to everybody here and everybody that's been very, very supportive. All right, I will earn your support. We will earn your support and your trust back. And I'm committed to that. And I've thought about that even before this opportunity. I wanted to be able, this is my home and it's such a great state that I want to be able to come back. And well, I'll prove to them that the man to my right made the right decision.
Mike Osti with West Virginia Sports Now. Coach, separate from the personal and maybe those detractors that Luke's bringing up, there could be some others, and we've heard this since the announcement, that say you wanted Jacksonville State, but that's a different lower level than the Power Four. You did have success, but it was many years ago, last time you had a big success at Arizona, and they're apprehensive that your success at Jacksonville State would translate and your success in the past would translate at the Power Four level in this current culture. How would you respond to that criticism that it was too long ago for Power Four success?
I mean, there's a lot of opinions, a lot of them are uneducated, and some of them don't know the resources, but all we've tried to do is every place we went to build the best football program in America, and some had different challenges. I'm really proud of what happened at Jack State, the players and the staff we had there. We went from a 1AA team to a 1A team, and nobody's ever done that, and went to 2 straight bowls and won a conference championship in their second year, and played some pretty good football, against some teams. There's a lot of Power Four teams that wouldn't want to play Jack State right now, I can tell you that. But with that being said, as I mentioned earlier, if I was the same coach now that I was in 2007, then I didn't follow my own guidelines for my players and my staff about getting better every day. And now I know the landscape has changed, the goalposts have moved, and we've moved with it. Then the great part about it is that this opportunity for me was so good, not only because it was home, not only because I wanted to come back and make it right, but because the school, Ren, and everybody here associated with President Gee and the board are committed to having us have a seat at the table and trying to win. They're not just going to compete, they want to win, and we're used to winning here. So that to me was extra appealing, and all the naysayers, all that kind of stuff, I'm going to just say, just wait till we play, and then you'll see what's going to happen. Well, you'll be all right. Yeah.
All right, Coach. Joe Smith here with Reddit's College Football Press Corps. Main thing I want to ask you is, you brought this program to some of its most national relevance, its most national success during your previous tenure here. It's 17 years ago. The sport has changed. The university has changed. We're in a different conference. Can you talk about what your vision is to bring West Virginia football back to national relevance and success, and how that might have changed since your first tenure here?
Yeah, the biggest thing that's changed, obviously, the transfer portal. Guys are almost free agents every year, and they're getting paid. Not all this stuff is all bad, but you got to be positioned to do that. But when Coach Needham was here and winning, when I had some success here, whenever they had success here, you got really, really good players and you coached them really hard. That's what happened when I played here for Dahn. He had good players. I wouldn't be a great player, but I was okay. But he had good players, and then we got coached hard. My players here, and some of you here, I had a lot of really good players, and they played really hard. That formula has not changed, and I think that's the key to our success. We're going to find really good players that want to be at West Virginia, and then they're going to play really hard, and then we'll win.
Derek?
Hey, Coach. Derek Red from Ogden Newspapers. Right here. You've been on a coaching odyssey for all these years. You've had great highs, you've had some lows, you've had twists, you've had turns, and you talked about like what you've learned and how you have kind of evolved as a coach through those years. What are some of the biggest things that you have taken, some of the most important tenets that you have taken from those different stops that you're going to bring to here to make you the best version of yourself for this team?
Yeah, I think every place is unique. I said there's certain principles that you got to have at every place you're at as a coach, but then certain places are unique, and how you go attack the recruiting, how you get your talent, or how do you acquire your talent, your staffing you put together. But I think the biggest thing is that, and I know there's a lot of, I say older coaches like myself, maybe you want to call me an older coach, I feel young, I feel good. By the way, I don't know if you all know, I'm not talking about contract length or nothing like that.
Dave, we hadn't put that out yet.
Okay.
You can answer.
No, I'm just saying I got a 5-year contract, but I would have signed a lifetime contract, but then if I lost, you'd have killed me. So I mean,
he did offer that up.
Yeah, I did offer that up. And then there's a lot of guns in the state of West Virginia too, you know what I mean? But I forgot your damn question. What was you asking?
What are the tenets that you've taken through those travels?
The tenets I've taken, pretty simple. You get really good players and coach them really hard and help them get better, you're going to win. It hadn't changed. The format is the same for Dahn. It's the same for Rich Rodriguez.
Keenan. Go ahead.
Is that Avon Coburn in the front row? Avon Coburn right here in the front row.
Keenan Cummings with WVSports.com. Rich, you mentioned good players. What is your plan for recruiting here? How is it different, if it will be different from last time? And how do you balance, high school traditional recruiting and the transfer portal now? Yeah, the difference in recruiting now is like we're recruiting right now because we're in the transfer portal. Typically, December was a quieter time. The first couple weeks in January is a quieter time. Then you hope you signed everybody in February. Now you got guys in the portal for another week and a half or so, and you got to try to retain guys. I don't want to lose any really good players going in the portal. So that's the first priority. The second priority is we better try to find some guys that we need out of the portal. So we got to evaluate our current players and how good they are. And then we got to be completely honest with our guys, not just now, but certainly in the spring, where they stand. Because I don't want to have a guy and tell him, well, you're going to be a starter, but he's going to be a third-team guy. He probably needs to go somewhere else. So the revolving door, so to speak, from a transfer portal situation, I like to see it slow down a little bit, but unfortunately that's the landscape that we're in, and so you have to constantly evaluate every day about building not just your program but building your team.
Go right ahead.
Tanner Mountains Blue Gold Sports. Obviously you had a lot of success here at West Virginia earlier when they were in the Big East, now in the Big 12. What are the differences that you see in the two conferences, and what could be some challenges that you see? Yeah, I don't know from the football standpoint, ability-wise or schematic-wise or what have you, that it's a whole lot different. It's just a difference in, the location. Some of the schools you're in the Big East, most schools you're competing against, you usually compete against them in recruiting and all that back then because everybody's in the same region and recruiting was different. Now everybody's everywhere, but so is recruiting is everywhere because of the transfer portal. So that's a little bit different. It was kind of unique when I was talking to Ren about that and they're looking at the Big 12. I'm like, I'm more familiar with these teams than maybe any other league because of my time in the Pac-12. You're talking about Arizona, Arizona State, Utah, you even played BYU a couple times. So I probably know those programs, know those regions, know how they recruit, or at least how they've recruited in the past more than any other league.
Go ahead, Justin.
This question's for Ren. Obviously, going back a couple weeks ago to the Neil Brown decision, the billboards across town, there was obviously some kind of divide in the fan base at that time. Do you think this hire helps alleviate some of that divide or not?
Yeah, listen, I think you want to be careful how much you overvalue any particular fan sentiment at any particular time. I mean, listen, sports is where you get to come and you get to be irrational and emotional. And so I think my job is to not weigh that into the decision-making matrix. And I love the fans, and I love when they love me, and I ignore when they don't, because that's part of the job, right? Like you just have to make the best decisions that you can, armed and equipped with the best decision the best information that you have. But here's what I know about West Virginia. Listen, I heard from both sides, and Coach and I talked about this. He knows that there's some people that have hard feelings from 17 years ago. But West Virginians love to see West Virginians do well. And West Virginians love to see this program do well and represent this state. And when I sat with him, no other candidate had the kind of passion for this state, this community, this university, and this football program the way that he did. It's very personal. I mean, you know, and I'm excited that he's here, and I think we're going to rally the fan base. We're going to win games, and there won't be any kind of division. Everybody will be rooting for the Mountaineers.
John.
Coach John Lowe, Golden Blue Nation. How does this job as a coach, as a CEO of a football program compare now to 2001?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think it's because of the changing landscape of college football, college athletics in particular, with the NIL, transfer portal. There are so many different things that a coach has to be, a head coach in particular has to be involved in. You know, you've always been involved in as a head coach and help raising money, but before you were raising money for scholarships or you're raising money for facilities, and now you're trying to help raise money to pay players. Yes, there's only a few schools down south that used to do that. You know what I mean? They would do it through the churches. You know what I mean? They have a little.
I always call those UTGs, under the table grants.
Yeah, under the table stuff, you know. I have to tell this story. I had an athletic director, a friend, call me, and he said, "No, it used to be you couldn't. One of your players would fly into the airport. You couldn't go and pick him up in a car because it was a violation." He said, "Now you just give him a car and give him the keys and say, take it." So things have changed a little bit, but I think in answer to your question, there's a lot more a head coach has to do. Outside typically X's and O's and developing players, so to speak. So you better have a great staff. And I'm still involved in the football part of it because I love it. I still call plays. But I'm going to put together a great staff. And fortunately, we have the means to put together a great staff that can take some of that burden off of me in all these aspects.
Quick follow-up, how does the state of the program compare?
Where we're at right now?
To 2001, yes.
Oh, I think the kids are. I think kids nowadays are probably bigger and faster and smarter. Somebody asked me the other question. I said, well, 20 or 30 years ago, or when I played for Coach Nealon 40 years ago, you know, coaches tell you run through the wall, you'll run through the wall. Now you tell them run through the wall, but you got to tell them why. And if you don't give them the right answer, they'll pull their phone out and say, that's not what it says on Google. I don't know about that. So they're smarter. I don't know if they're as tough mentally, and that's the challenge. That's what we try to do as coaches, make them a little bit tougher mentally. But the kids are more talented and smarter now.
Back on the camera deck. Go ahead, sir.
The thought is immediately, why the fuck would Bill Belichick want to go do college football?
Let me put this in capital letters. If I was in a college program, the college program would be a pipeline to the NFL for the players that had the ability to play in the NFL. It would be a professional program.
He showed up this morning. Boy, he looks jolly. Hey, guys. Good to see you guys. Can't wait to joust with all of you in every post-game press conference. Should be fun. Brand new general manager for the North Carolina Tar Heel football team. Front of the program, gone too soon.
Yeah! Welcome to Chapel Hill, guys. It's exciting to be here. I'm not going anywhere yet, Pat. You can't kick me to the curb yet. I'm not ready to go anywhere.
You got a lot of work to do. You're down there in Chapel Bill.
Before the Big Ten Championship, there was a shrimp eating contest. Joey Chestnuts, of course, does what Joey does. And he ate 21 pounds of St. Elmo's shrimp cocktail. Joey, of course, took home the victory. We were having a good time in the suite. Around the third quarter, I left the suite to take a leak. As soon as I open the door, I see Joey Chestnuts hightailing it for the restroom. And as soon as I get in there, I hear Joey Chestnuts saying, "Is there a stall open? Is there a stall open?" And of course, no. Both of them were taken. Immediately, Joey Chestnut's shit.
You understand where you sit now in relation to the other teams in the NFC West?
I don't know where we sit in standings to them, but I know that we play somebody in our division on Thursday.
Okay, all right, that's great. Shefty, thank you, Schefter. Thanks for the question.
On Sunday. That's what they asked for me to do.
That fine china, top right. Can you lick it and then do the thing and it?
No.
Okay.
No, that's us making the sound, buddy. Jesus Christ.
No. It's working. I swear. I got to take my earbuds out. Hold on. It's working.
Oh, wow. Dan's living that highlight. And they start getting physical, and man, a superhero, an anonymous bystander at the restaurant says, "What are you doing? You guys can't do this." Boom! Drops one of them in the middle of the bar after getting swung on and saying, "Boys, you can't do this." Listen to the descriptor of our hero.
Like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, a Hispanic guy with black hair and a black ear.
Do you smell what the rock? He's a cookie.
One more time. He needs it one more time.
No, come on, bro.
CFB National.
Nah, take me off. Take me off. You don't need a one shot on me. Come on.
It is official. Rich Rodriguez is back to be the coach of the West Virginia Mountaineer. To go forward to where we want to be, we had to go back to when we were the best we ever were. Basically, everybody that's ever played for this guy has come out and said, if Rich Rod was able to get the capability to be in a P4 program and have resources behind him, back in a state that he knows better than anybody else because he's born there, grew up there, played college there, his family still lives there. If there's anybody that could come and do a better job coaching than Rich Rodriguez, we'd like to see it.
Can you see him and Dabo trying to yuck it up?
That's what I mean.
Trying to yuck. Oh, what's up, coach?
Who was that?
Pretty good Dabo.
That was a good Dabo.
Was that Dabo? I didn't know Dabo's in studio. Did he think he was going to go over that?
You got banners, you got rings, you got stories forever. All your off-season training, every single weight that you lifted, hill that you ran, sprint that you took, vomit that poured out of your soul because you were giving your all. It's the mean machine in the red and black. Go dogs, go dogs, go. Have you seen these numbers this guy's put up?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. It almost doesn't even seem real.
Into the clear blue. Touchdown.
His head is an actual block. He's 5'9", and his name's Cam Scatterboo.
How did he stay on balance there? Look at him go! Scatterboo! That one is good! At the buzzer! Clemson wins the ACC!
The eyes of Texas are upon you, hollering on King. Here in the great state of OH! I like SMU not just this year. I like Brent Lashley and SMU with the future too. I really like what they're doing there. Thank you. The great state of Touchdown Jesus has been blessing me for the last 24 hours here on this campus. This guy sucks. This guy's the worst of all time. Almost. Timothy. Almost. Corbin, that was good. Who's the worst we've ever seen? Hey. I think you're nervous in front of Bob Dylan.
No.
I think that's probably...
No. One more shot. One more.
You want the Texas guy to get one more kick? All right, how about this? Kirk Herbstreit said he'll match another $200,000. I will as well. This is an $800,000 kick, Corbin.
Yeah!
This guy's got no shot.
Come on, Harry.
Come on, Herbie. Timmy, you want a match?
Yeah, I'll get in there too.
Okay, all right, sweet.
Is that 1.2?
Yeah, it is.
$1.2 million kick.
Yeah. Holy hell.
Let's go.
Everything just got very real all of a sudden. That first attempt was god-awful. But now you got a $1.2 million operation. All you got to do is kick the ball through those uprights. This looks shorter than 33 yards. Stanford.
Is that legally binding?
Yeah.
That's a legally binding offer.
Yeah, we got you,
You're
Timmy.
the lawyer, Corbin. Is that a real offer?
Yeah, it is. It's on camera.
It is? Okay.
Hey, bro, somehow he got under that ball.
Yeah, he said it was like a 9-iron. That was more like a duff of a wedge, bub.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and try to maybe bring out the 1-iron.
On one hand, we've never seen
1.2 million.
Come on, Corbin.
1.2.
Holy hell. That's a lot of money. You're a lawyer, you live nice, you wear suits, but 1.2 million could change a lot of things. On SEC Championship Saturday in Atlanta for $1 million. That got pretty expensive. That was too close. Thought we got hustled. Bob Dylan coming out on Christmas. The movie's supposed to be Oscar-worthy. Thankfully stopped by. Herbstreit's awesome. Reese, that got a little bit of nerve-wracking there for a few moments. Back to you.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig!
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Here we go, hour 3 of the Pat McAfee Show, Friday, December 13th. Ooh, that's scary. Rich Rod is the new head coach at West Virginia. Football! Oh. Pat, Conman changed the location. You guys look great. How's it going there? It seemed like it was a bit, there was a raucous crowd for a little bit.
Yeah, to be clear, I don't think we had any idea what was going to happen. I don't think we fully prepared for the transition post-press conference, what we were going to do, how we were going to get out, where we were going to shoot. So we literally just set up a laptop. We're in the corner of the Courtside Club. Beautiful place.
It's gorgeous.
Beautiful place. Now, obviously, these 2 TVs remain on because this isn't just about us. Let's go ahead and get a little extra view on ESPN, which they love our show, I've been hearing. I've been hearing everybody else on ESPN loves our show and the things that get said on it. But today it's been a celebration. It has been fantastic. And I think the takeaway from that particular press conference, Con Man, is old buddy comes down thinking he's going to be
star of the show. What was he yelling? We couldn't hear. What was he yelling?
So he was like 10 feet from me. I couldn't really hear everything he was saying. I think he was saying go back to Michigan, and he was saying some other stuff. He was filming the whole thing. I think he potentially thought that there was going to be a bunch of people that were going to join him. And instead, boy, he got his ass booed out of West Virginia. And I think the way Coach Rod handled that with any other Pitt fans out here want to talk, do their entire thing. But also what he said there about how back in the day I would have tried to go down there and kind of see if he's about a hard edge or if he's just talking about it. That is very real. And I think that was a good little piece of evidence about how he's matured, and that's been a big conversation for Rich, I think, since he's got through this is what I was back then isn't exactly what I am now. I've matured. I want to hopefully be a better coach next week. And we're all on board, man. It was electric in there. The energy was palpable for a press conference. I've never seen anything like that.
A lot of support, too. Like he mentioned, I don't know if any of these kids even know who I am, but the fact that everyone was out there, I mean, the place was packed. I was surprised by how many damn people were there. It was pretty awesome. And then, of course, them joining in, it almost created a great moment when that guy came and tried to stir shit up because all the people were so much on Rich's side. And then seeing how emotional he was about it, it's like, Ren Baker got it right, boys. West Virginia's back.
Ren Baker, I think they should have gave him a prompter. Okay, I didn't like that. I didn't like that he gave that incredible speech. And, every once in a while, people were saying, His tan looks fantastic. That's what people are saying. Didn't get a chance to see his beautiful smile enough, I think, of Ren Baker. I don't think there was enough views of his beautiful smile. But I think everything he's kind of pieced together here. And I appreciate the fact that Rich Rod kind of doubled down on that. All the work that Ren put in for this process was very, very evident from anybody that was around or a part of the conversations. And I think I'm an easy man. And I think it's potentially because, Tim McAfee is this way, and then Rich Rod is obviously this way. If you have a good work ethic, I love you. And it's basically as easy as that. As literally Rich just comes back in. Coach Rod, hey, we are live here on a computer right now. We're on a laptop right now. Coach.
Hey. Where is he?
How do you feel? Here, look right here. Look. Coach, how do you think you did?
Coach.
Let's give a post. We're live right now. Let's give a post press.
How about that?
How'd you feel?
Who the hell let the pit fan get in?
Okay. We were just talking. I thought you handled it very well. And then also in your Q&A, you said, "I'm gonna earn these people's trust. I'm gonna earn these people fun." I think you handled. I think you aced it out there.
Well, I appreciate, we have great, are you kidding me? See all the people that were here?
Yeah.
And I know we were selling beer and all that kind of stuff, but shoot, that's West Virginia. That's West Virginia athletics, West Virginia University, West Virginia football. So I'm fired up, and let's go.
You sound like you're ready.
Let's go.
It sound like that was a little bit too strong. Okay, I'm 38. I'm tired. I don't need that.
Are you jacking up? And listen,
What are you doing?
You have to cut these sleeves off yourself. Can we not make some that are already pre-cut?
No, the issue is my tailor and customization is better than what anybody else does. Because there's a certain fit for the way my body.
As long as you think so.
But I'm going to let you know, Coach, I couldn't pass a drug test right now. I'm on a lot. I'm on a lot of science. But if you
can be on all the steroids you want right now.
Whoa.
It's good.
Felt good today, though?
Yeah, it did feel good. To see some of the former players back and, I think I've gotten 500 texts and 200 of them are from former players, guys that played with you, that played here. And they've always loved this place. But I want them to come back. Dang it, I want them to come back. Because the facility's unbelievable. I don't know if you see, you've seen it. 17 years, I love what they've done with the place, right?
Yeah, I was at the spring game and I said the same thing. They have like a car wash for the players to walk through before the cold tub.
And they got the hydrogen tanks and like a salt bath. Could you? And plus, all you specialists, then you spend all day in there. Like you go out and kick for 15 minutes.
No. Not hard edge.
Runaway
not a hard edge salt bath.
Yeah, we have a 2-hour practice, and the specialist had 15 minutes of it.
No. I was working hard.
I got to tell you what happened. Here's how my day started out. I went to go watch West Virginia practice. They're practicing in the indoor, and I'm standing on sidelines, not paying attention. And the punter, doink, hit me right square in the head with the ball.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to find out if he's getting a portal tomorrow.
Obviously, we hope it was a long punt. We hope they got hit hard.
It must have been a shank. You hit me in the head.
No. He was putting it out of bounds.
Okay.
The guy's working.
That's what it was.
Hey, get an American punter, by the way.
Them Aussies are amazing. I had one at Jack State, Jack Dawson. Oh, he was phenomenal.
Aussie?
But he likes to drink a lot of beer, though, too.
Well, the Americans do, too. That's the way it is. Let's get it. Owen Schmidt, you shouted him out.
It's about the pooch kicks, Coach.
That's right. Which you did numerous times.
Owen and the word pooch doesn't sound together. Owen has nothing to do with pooching anything. But I do remember, y'all don't know what the weight was on that power clean. I told that story. I never seen a human do that. It was like 275 pounds, like a rep of 10. He threw the last one over his head.
Yeah, and the thing would bend around his legs whenever he was on there.
Hard edge.
How many face masks did you break?
Collectively, who knows?
It was a bunch.
How about how many stitches on the helmet to the head that he would do?
Super glue.
Owen and I and everybody, former players of yours, have been catching up over the last couple of weeks.
And then
it is so cool. So whenever you said you want everybody to come back,
I do.
That was very kind of you to say, like, everybody. Hey, we want everybody back here.
Coach Bowden, because those are guys that are older than me. The ones that play for Coach Bowden, Coach Signetti, and then Coach Neal in my era. I'm hearing a bunch from my former teammates here, which is playing at your coaching at your alma mater. Sometimes that's good and bad when it's, all your former teammates like, Coach, I want to be on the sidelines. I'm like, that's 400 teammates. I can't put.
We don't have the space.
But we had a great time here. You had a great experience here. We won a lot of games. Coach Needham's in the Hall of Fame. And that's why it's different for me. It's special. Everybody talk about it's personal. It's personal. It really is. It always has been for me here.
So me and Owen were just kind of ransacking this bar here, trying to find some stuff. And then we went in the back. Wellesley took us in the back. We got some ice, and me and Owen looked at each other, and it was like, it's nice that our guys back in charge are out here. You know, doesn't it feel like more welcome? It just immediately feels more welcoming. So you making that as one of your messages to be like, hey, if you ever played here, we want you to come back. I think it's a good thing. All good programs do that.
Yeah, you know what? In football, and in the athletes, a lot of people know, they see you during the games, but a lot of them don't understand how much work you put in, before that, before you play, and what kind of sacrifice it is. Because it is. And even if their guys are getting paid now, it's still a great sacrifice, what they go through, how you coach them, and what the work they have to put in. You don't live a normal life as a student athlete. And so, I'm really, and I've been so blessed, but I can't say enough. I'm really, really appreciative to all the former players. Like, I wouldn't have got this job if it wasn't for Jack State. And the players at Jack State the last 3 years. I mean, those guys did something that people say, well, it's a lower level. Well, it's pretty good football now, playing a bowl. We had South Carolina's ass beat too. So, our guys played really good football, and they deserve a lot of credit.
Owen and we watched your team meeting.
Yeah, it was kind of a calmer one, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you put some points out there.
The message was direct, right?
Yeah.
You decipher through the rest of it. Okay, there's going to be some 4-letter words, as we know, but not in the first one. Okay,
Yeah.
You had a couple 3-letter words.
My question is, do any of those players understand what the hell's about? I don't think any. I don't think that's
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm going to find out. I watched practice today, and the energy was good, and intensity was okay. It was, but there was no live going on. But the first winter workout when you do tour duty, first tour duty, and they'll find out who's thinks they're going hard, but they ain't really going hard, because their version of going hard.
Yep.
And our version of going hard might be different. Might be a little different. So we'll find that out in a hurry.
We're proud of you, man.
Thank you, brother.
Good luck. I'll be here for you, whatever you need. So will Owen.
Yeah, great.
Hey, he's a football coach now.
I heard that. That's scary. Single wing.
All right. Appreciate you, Coach. Yeah, this has been crazy here. It's like a reunion. And look, that guy's ready to go. I said he was old, too. He's an old ass. I don't know if he's still doing a Stairmaster. Calves look fantastic. They're kind of hiding in there, but I think he absolutely crushed it. Owen, I don't know if you know this. We got a good zoom in on your face. AJ, didn't he look absolutely jocked whenever he was doing his thing?
Yeah, he still looks jacked. What do you mean? I mean, that's who he is.
Wade. What? Now, I've talked about it a lot. It is cool to have our guy back.
All seems right now in Mountaineer world, and I have an immense respect for Coach Rod. Obviously, he gave me my opportunity, my shot, so he will always be my coach. But I'm friends with a lot of the years past guys as well, and that's been a huge topic of concern. And now I kind of feel like that tradition can be stamped back where it needs to be, and that's here at home.
Hell yeah. All right, we got to make some picks. I'll see you in a bit.
Have a good one.
We're going to get a nice little, we might have a little happy hour dinner and some booze here in a little bit.
Have to.
We were literally ransacking this bar. I mean, looking for ice, looking for a drink. And as we were looking at it, I was like, it does feel like the glory days again. And everybody over here is being real quiet because we're live. So let's make our picks. And I think it's time to have a great weekend, AJ Hawk. And we're going to celebrate the hell out of life here at West Virginia. Bengals, Titans. Titans getting 5.5 at home in Nashville. Bengals, obviously. Joe Burrow's house ransacked. We learned that maybe he has an assistant.
Yeah, she's on staff. She's employed by Joe.
One of the two. I don't think he's happy about any of that.
No,
I don't think. So with that being said, give me the Bengals minus 5.5 traveling to Nashville. You like to pick?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me T. Higgins touchdown.
AJ, you like to pick?
Oh yeah, I'm taking Cincinnati here as well on the road.
I like a mad Joe Burrow.
What about a very frustrated short, my privacy, what did he say? My privacy was violated on many fronts.
Multiple times. In many different ways, yeah. All of a sudden, everybody knows now that I know a swimsuit model. Okay, don't love that. Also, my entire bedroom ransacked. Millions of dollars worth of jewelry and costumes.
Underwear.
Think about all the costumes he has. Think about all the costumes he has over there. Okay, so that's one game. Let's keep it moving. It's really uncomfortable in here. Kansas City, Browns. Kansas City favored by 4 going into Cleveland. I like the Chiefs. Even though last week I took the Chargers, I like the Chiefs here to cover 4, even though that is not the Chiefs' MO.
Yeah. Seven straight they haven't covered.
Okay, they have. But you would think 4. It's the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, the Chiefs are going to cover. I'm taking the Chiefs again. I'm blinded by their Super Bowls.
Baltimore Ravens, New York Giants. Ravens favored by 16. Not enough. Remember how pissed off Lamar Jackson was coming off of the loss? And remember what Mama Jackson said.
Yeah, run the football. Lamar Jackson's plus 175, scored a touchdown as well.
It feels like a good move. Herm Edwards over our shoulder. Same with Barry doing their thing. I wonder if they're having the same type of show we're having, just into a laptop in a corner of a room. But with that being said, I like the Ravens. Minus 16, taking on the woeful Giants.
Yeah, 16 is so many, but I like the Ravens as well on this one, Pat.
Washington Commanders, are they going to change their name? You know, West Virginia's going back to Rich Rod. Is Washington about to go back to...
There's a fellow in the front row that really was pushing hard today.
Yeah, he had the raccoon skin hat. His name was Fish. He's a big fan of the program. He's a big fan of the
By the way, the Mountaineer we were talking, he's a little skinny. We need to get some meat on that guy's bones.
Living off the land.
It's been some thin times around here. You know what I mean? He might have lost his hard edge, too. I think Rich will find that shit for him. Give me the Saints plus 8 with Darren Riz leading the squad.
Jake Hayner, first start ever.
What's his name is playing?
Give me the Washington Commanders minus 8 against Jake Hayner.
Lattimore is back.
Lattimore's getting his first
game
start
for the Commanders. Yeah. I'm taking the Commanders as well here, Pat.
I would take the Commanders. We're kind of being a little bit boring here. Favorites across the board. How about this one? Cowboys, Panthers. Panthers favored by 3 against the Cowboys?
Yeah. They're better football.
Playing some good football.
Panthers are favored by 3?
You know what? I'll take the Panthers here, Pat.
Me too.
Oh.
That feels...
It's weird.
Yeah, I'm taking them too. Dolphins, Texans. Give me the Miami Dolphins plus 3 going into Houston just because I need it for the Indianapolis Colts team that I watch on a regular basis because I live in the city that they play in.
Well, I'm taking Houston at home here, minus 3. You kidding me? I mean, they just cut Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know. This can be tough to win this
Yeah,
one.
they parted ways.
Well,
it's all
mutual.
in the phrasing.
It was a mutual thing. I get it.
Jets, Jaguars. Aaron Rodgers is getting attacked on TV for attacking people who've been attacking him. Quite a battle of words there between ESPN and Aaron Rodgers. I will take the Jets minus 3.5 down in Duval.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with you as well, too. I'm taking the Jets minus 3.5. They've been playing okay. Just can't get a win.
Okay, let's go Bucks Chargers. Give me the Chargers minus 3 at home against Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. Ooh.
Give me the Bucks plus 3, please.
Long flight.
I'll take the Chargers. Okay, Pittsburgh Steelers, the Battle of the Keystone State, taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers plus 5.5.
I'll take the Philadelphia Eagles minus 5.5.
Eagles might win that game, but 5.5 feels like too many. Tone, how do you feel about that?
My worry is that that coaching staff. Now, Steichen was the OC. They've had the Steelers' defensive number, but Steichen was there the last time that they had the Steelers' D number, so that worries me a bit. But, you know, still, boys are playing hard right now, so I feel pretty good, actually.
What's the stat about Tomlin when it's more than 6 as an underdog?
He doesn't
Or
lose.
more than
He doesn't lose as a dog.
He's like undefeated. Basically.
Okay, I'll take Steelers plus 5.5. Buffalo Bills, Detroit Lions, only favored by 2.5. But the Buffalo Bills team just had an absolute onslaught in a losing effort against the Los Angeles Rams, who just beat the San Francisco 49ers. Detroit Lions, very thin in the front 7 on the defensive side. We said that a lot. This is a shootout game, it appears, over under 54.5, highest on the board. AJ, who do you like?
I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills on this one, Pat. I think it will be a shootout, that fast track in Detroit, but give me the Bills.
I love the Lions. I picked against them the last 2 weeks because I think they have too many injuries. They obviously told me to shut up last week. Maybe the Bills are the ones to do it. Fox, are you okay?
Yeah, we're going to be okay. We're actually getting some guys back. Decker's back. McNeil's good to go. DJ Reader will be back. Pascal's back. So defense is getting a little bit better here. So we'll see. But I agree with your take. Shootout will definitely still be the case.
That's the highest total I've seen all year, I think.
Yes.
And that's in Detroit.
And highest ticket price in this for the season so far. And the Lions are wearing their midnight Motor City Muscle jerseys.
Whoa.
Oh, give me the Motor City Muscle. I'll take the Motor City Muscle.
Those are wearing all white, I believe.
Oh,
it's a great matchup this weekend.
Give me the Detroit Lions.
I got the Bills.
All right, I'll take the Lions. Colts, Broncos. Who do you got, AJ?
Give me them Broncos, Bo Nix. Yeah, I wonder where you're going.
Both off a bye.
Don't let Sean Payton get a hold of you after a bye. You know that.
They say that.
Come on, AR's been watching tape all week.
Yeah, he didn't take one day off.
It's true. They didn't even take the bye.
I know. And that team works hard.
Harder than ever.
It's kind of how I felt when I was talking about this West Virginia team, what it's going to be versus what the West Virginia teams have been. Kind of a similar feeling. Like once the toothpaste is out of the tube, can you put it back in?
Typically,
can you just
usually not.
Give me the Colts +4. Patriots, Cardinals. Cardinals favored by 6 at home against Drake May.
I don't know. You tell me.
Okay. I'll take the Patriots +6. AJ, who do you got?
I'll take the Cardinals -6 here.
Come on,
Okay,
man.
and Sunday Night Football, Packers, Hawks. This is an old school NFC playoff battle rivalry. Geno Smith of the West Virginia Mountaineers took the long road to get to the top for the Seattle Seahawks. And then the Green Bay Packers. Is it this year that they're the team, or is it maybe next year that they're the team? Ty Schmidt, how should we be looking at this?
I don't know if it's this year that they're the team, but this is kind of although their playoff seeding can't really change much from here to the end of the season, I think this is kind of like a must-win. They need to bounce back after everyone's saying, hey, you can't beat good teams. They've only got, I think, 2 wins over teams with winning records this year. That's not their fault, but everyone thought they should have beat the Lions last week with how banged up they are. I think it would go a long ways if they could go into Seattle and get a win on Sunday night. And they are starting to get a little bit healthier as well. They had a couple guys out against the Lions too, and several of those guys are at least potentially on track to play this week. So I'm feeling pretty good about this game.
Okay, AJ, who are you taking?
I'm taking the Packers here on the road.
All right, I'll take the Seahawks getting points at home. And that does it, boys. I think the picks are over. The press conference is over. There's only one man that we need to talk to. And he's sitting right over there. He's got a sweet pair of Nike shoes. He's got a great suit on, good tie. I don't think people got to see his smile enough because he's got a great smile, this guy. And he's got a great football brain. Ladies and gentlemen, to wrap up this phenomenal Feel Good Friday from the beautiful state of West Virginia, athletic director, and I think I heard president of something, Ren Baker.
Yeah, Ren.
Oh, man, come on.
Listen. Oh, yeah. Connor is my guy. Hey,
clapping for you.
I appreciate you guys.
Hey, listen.
If Ty says anything, he has to do it in his Pete Thamel voice. So
how does Pete Thamel feel about how today went and Rich Rodriguez being the head coach?
Well, Ren, listen, you kind of, you drummed up a lot of support. Obviously, Coach Rod said you interviewed, 10,000 guys and maybe 10,000 additional people on Zoom. I think it was a home run, honestly. I really do. Early on, my sources were saying, listen, there's no way this is going to happen. Rich Rod's not going back to West Virginia. It's going to be the likes of, Barry Odom or someone of that ilk. You kind of you went back into the the tube and said, what do we need to do to kind of get back to who we're supposed to be at West Virginia? We need a hard edge. You found your hard edge, and you found the right man. Good on you, Ren. Very proud of you. Great decision.
Pete, do you have any hard edge in your body?
Well, I don't like the hard edge to come out. Pat, I think you remember, national championship last year, hotel lobby, dressed up like B-Rabbit from 8 Mile. Bruce Brown of this show got in my face, was yelling, and let's just say I damn near knocked him out. So, yeah, there's a little bit of hard edge. Don't like to use it, but if I have to use it, guys like Bruce Brown typically, they incur the wrath of my hard edge.
Okay, Pete, thank you. And before the celebrations really kick off here, as we're kind of holding it up, how happy are you that this day is come and gone? And now, how pumped are you about the process being over?
I'm glad it's over. They're all encompassing, and because you and I talked a few times. I did turn over every rock, because when you make a hire like this, it's not just important for me. It's important for West Virginia. It's important for our state. I mean, it is the brand of our state, and so I wanted to make sure whatever conclusion I got to, that I felt like that there was no more for me to look through to get there. And so I'm married to a process, and it's worked for me, but I'm really happy where it turned out. I think fans and people are happy. We're going to sell more tickets. We're going to need to after what you guys have done to the bar in here.
Yeah, we went after
that. Was not part of the deal. The bar, it was not open bar today.
Listen, it's Coach Rod's era back. I don't know what to tell you. Me and Owen might raid a bar too. But
I left Connor in charge. It did not go well.
Well, Connor was trying Connor was trying to figure out all the tech so we could listen to the press conference because we wanted to hear what you had to say. What's your biggest takeaway from the press conference out there? Obviously, the energy is immense.
Yeah, I said this before. West Virginians love this program, and they love West Virginians, and they want West Virginians to do well. So I know there's a few people have hard feelings about how things went down 17 years ago, but I think Coach nailed it when he said, "I will earn your trust and your belief back." And that right there, I mean, that's what people need to hear. They want to believe.
That's kind of been his mantra this whole time.
Yeah.
Like since I've talked to him, I assume you as well.
Yeah. Both interviews, the first time we sat down with him, just said, hey, I mean, I think one of the interviews he said, my biggest professional mistake was leaving 17 years ago. My biggest personal mistake was how I left, and I'm ready to go home and make it right.
Isn't it cool, too, that it's very apparent that this isn't like a stepping stone job either?
Yeah.
Like this is home for him. And he's excited to build it. You can sense it. He tried to break my leg earlier whenever he hit. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was tough.
He hit my leg so hard.
Vrabel.
Yeah, it was. It was like a Vrabel check. It's like he feels it feels like he is very much energized for this task.
His fire is burning as hot as it ever was. And I didn't know him 20 years ago, but if it was burning any hotter then than it is now, I would be shocked because that's a competitive guy.
Yeah, certainly he is. AJ has a question for you, Ren.
Ren, when you were thinking about this whole process, I guess, did you understand like the magnitude and how much a lot of people's lives rely on the choice that you made for this decision?
My life is always you're talking about like me.
A lot of people though, it affects. Like, it's like we ask Aaron Rodgers, hey, do you know like how you play affects so many like the coaches, their families, like the trickle down effect. It's a big deal, obviously hiring a coach and bringing Rich back. I guess, did you understand the magnitude going into it?
I think when you're in these situations, it's like a player that's playing for a national championship or a golfer that's about to hit their big shot. You try not to think about that. You just try and focus on the process, do the job the best that you can, make the best decision that you can. I'd be lying if I didn't say I don't understand. They tried to tell me before I took this job how important it was to people here. Like I told every candidate that we interviewed, I'm like, the day we announce you here, you're the most visible person in this state, period. And so like it's something that you have to accept, and there's no anonymity, there's no and so the responsibility that comes with that is important, and you have to understand if you're going to be here. But for this process, I tried to block that out. I mean, and Pat would know when he'd talk to me, he'd see me at home, I was just like, hey, I'm just working through the process. I'm trying not to listen to anybody's opinions except for his and Coach Saban's.
Yeah. Whoa. And I told you
he was very neutral and
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would like that to be on the record,
yes,
because I believe in you, and I think you are a very good athletic director. So it was a tough balance because I had all my ex-teammates being like, hey, Pat, I think you have some say in this entire thing. Why don't you go ahead and put the wagon behind it? It's like, I don't want to put that pressure on Ren, and I'm not in the interviews. So I don't know who the best person is. I had nothing but faith that you would do it. And the fact that it's Rod, obviously, a lot of us are excited. I think a lot of the donors are excited too, which is obviously good news for the state that we're in. And you can tell the state's excited, so is the school. Connor has the last question for you here, Red.
Yeah, speaking of the donors, when this gets announced, are there more NIL opportunities now? Are more people reaching out like, hey, congratulations, how do I help? Obviously, we had the wonderful whiskey that is being sold to help the NIL, but
did they tell you how much per drink that's going to cost you?
They said the first one's on the house.
Yeah, they said you can have all the what you want.
Former players get whatever they want, is the word on the street.
Former players.
Of course, as Rich Rod acknowledged earlier.
Former Mustangs.
Former Mountaineers, things of that nature, former Colts, you could say. But what does now go into the NIL now that, the new coach has been hired? Hey, let's go after this thing and let's compete with, those college football playoff teams.
Yeah, I feel like the best way to raise money in an athletic program is to win. And so I tried to not let any, potential money influence one way or another affect the process. But now that the process has landed here, I do think it's going to open up more opportunities. And we know now in this world of college athletics, yes, helping people grow and retention, all that is for a lot of reasons. That experience, that camaraderie, are you providing them opportunities to learn for life after football here? Those are all still important, but also what's important is have a competitive war chest. And so the Mountaineer Nation, I hope understands that. Big donors, I hope understand that. Yeah, there's been people already catch me today and say, say they're re-upping.
Yeah.
You know, Pat owes me some money.
That's right.
And we're going to get some.
I was
more
wondering
money.
where that money was going for a little bit, and the donors figured it out. But I got a text from Ken.
You did?
Yeah, I got a text from Ken Kendrick during the show today. Said, thank you for what you're doing. If you ever need me on a program, I could do a call-in. I don't know if he knows what the show is, but I do appreciate that he is in. But I think that is a massive deal. You got a lot of support. You got a lot of time. And I'm thankful for you, man. I think you did a fantastic job, and I think you should be proud of yourself. And also, I think you should celebrate at some point.
Yeah, I'm going to on a beach somewhere. Some beach somewhere, AJ.
That's right.
Here we go.
That's right.
See it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best athletic director and what? What was the other title?
Vice president. Not president, vice president.
They just threw that shit on there so they give him some more money, I think. Ladies and gentlemen, the best in the country, Ren Baker. Appreciate
This guy, he's getting ready to go back to wrestling. I'm predicting that.
Whoa. Don't be giving anything away, Ren.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ. What's this guy's problem?
I can just say.
What's this guy's problem?
If I see these guns, I know what's about to happen.
He might be right. That's Ren Baker football. That's Ren Baker football right there. Thank you, Ren. You've been there. All right, we're going to get the hell out of here because they're holding up the party for all of us in here. And I don't know if you could hear it kind of starting back up, and then they felt like they had to get down. I never want to be associated with a guy that they go, shh, because Pat's here. So we're going to let them go ahead and turn this thing up. AJ, thank you for traveling over to Indy today.
Appreciate it. It's been fun, man. Good. This is it was fun watching you guys in there. And now seeing you get to connect with your old guys, like that's the best part. That's the best part about it. Anytime I get to go back and see guys I played with that I haven't seen forever, like it makes you a better person, I think.
Love DoorDash, man. Who doesn't?
Me too. We'll probably DoorDash some good times over here. You know, that's I love that Foxy's trying to slide these into because he knows we're probably getting out of here quick and we need to hit this DoorDash L rep a couple different times. But if you don't know by now, DoorDash has everything you need. It is literally your tag team partner in life. You want some food, you need some medicine, you need some clothes.
Why?
Saw PS5 yesterday.
Yeah, you can get a PlayStation 5.
Someone got a PS5 yesterday.
Alcohol.
Pretty sweet.
What?
Yeah, booze.
Yeah, I think you can get booze. I think they also have THC drinks on there.
Oh,
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So when they say DoorDash has it all, I mean, they do. Get all your game day faves delivered. But not only on game day, get them every day. Order pizza and more from the best seats in the house, your house. That's DoorDash. So shout out to DoorDash, shout out to you, and shout out to this guy taking a trip over here to Morgantown with me. Shout out to Gumpy, too. Look at Gumpy over here working.
There you go, Goop. Oh, that place is awesome. That Champions Club, is it called?
Look at this. This is the whole. Everybody's just waiting on us to shut.
They got a huge WV. Yeah, you can see it right there behind the bar.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's waiting on us to shut the fuck up over here. So we tried to find a corner, but I don't think we're out of the way enough. But from us here in West Virginia to you guys in Indianapolis, I think today was a good day. I think today was a good day.
Great day.
I think today was Sonic and Knuckles too. Hell yeah. I think Ryan Clark and Aaron need to talk it out.
Yeah, I'd say.
I think they need to have a.
Let's go shake their hands.
Think it'll
They
happen.
need to have. Yeah. You tell me, AJ. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know how deep it goes, but yeah. Maybe. It's always good to talk, right? It's always good to chat.
We also need to have Nick Mangold on the program.
What's that?
We need to have Nick Mangold.
What, about the UFOs?
Yeah, he saw him.
Yeah, he's been seeing them for a while.
The drones, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, the drones. He lives in Jersey.
Yeah.
What are they? And they're coming out of the ocean, they said?
They're death, brother. They are angels of death.
No. Don't say that. We don't.
Harvesters.
Sorry.
Harvesters
This
of.
is what I'm saying, man. This is what I'm saying. You gotta be a little worried.
As we were flying east this morning,
Good luck.
Connor, like, let's look out the windows. Let's make sure we don't see any of these
Double check,
things.
because some people are saying they're just planes. Hey, these people are these idiots. These conspiracy theorists are just seeing planes for the first time in the sky. That's crazy. Okay.
Well, then there's like people that are legit saying they start out as this little like thing, and then it transforms into look like a plane. Did you hear that?
No, they're shape shifting.
Yeah, they're saying.
Now, if that happens, I'm scared.
That's not good.
I'm scared if that's happening.
I mean, not to mention the shape-shifting dogs we saw a few months ago. Remember that? They're running in and then they just turn into humans. You saw that.
We can't give away too much because everyone won't be taken seriously. But a lot of the people that normally don't take this type of thing serious, AJ included in this entire thing, have seen so much that they're like, What the hell's going on? So whenever they roll somebody out to a presser and go, most of these have been planes, some of them helicopters. Obviously, we saw that. Yep. It's like, I don't think that excuse just works anymore because I think there's too many people going like, I don't know.
What's the governor talking about?
I don't know.
Telling you boys, load up on that 5.56, okay?
I don't know if that matters, brother. All I want to know is, can I go shake their hands? I want to shake their hands, whatever they are, and I think we should talk to them. Think about this. I thought about this theory this morning. What if, Christopher Columbus? Christopher Columbus was the first one, allegedly, to look over and say, well, he definitely was, I guess, but you know what we're saying. Yeah. Anyways, he was the first one to say, like, I think the world's round. Fuck it, I'm going. Okay, that's what he said. What if these little beings that have lived in our ocean for a long time had a young little Christopher Columbus one that said, like, there's world outside of this water. Like, there's world outside of this water. And then all of a sudden, he takes one up there, and he's like, holy shit, you should see it. We're floating around out there. And then he goes back to the lads, back to the boys, and they all start saying, maybe they're just a bunch of little young aliens having a good time with something that they didn't know they were able to do.
That's very optimistic of you, Pat, but they are here for death. They will kill. Stay away from them. Don't go near them. Don't talk to them.
This is Rumspringa. This is like Rumspringa.
Harvesters of evil, angels of death.
I'd be worried.
We need to send Christian Pulisic over there. Thank him for stopping by. Rich Rod, Bren Baker, Nick Saban. Hell of a Friday. All right, have a great weekend. We'll be back for Overreaction Monday. Army-Navy is tomorrow. Heisman presentation tomorrow. Saturday night main event for the WWE tomorrow night on NBC. Then obviously a full NFL Sunday slate. We're so incredibly lucky that we get to do this. We'll see you on Overreaction Monday. All right, be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We're in this thing together. Even more so now than ever, especially if we got death merchants flying in the sky.
Yeah. Well said.
Team on me. Team on three. 1, 2, 3.
Team.
Goodbye.